end zone. Touchdown, Terrence Williams.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3.
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
How about it? Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I took it all for granted. The studio, the microphones, the headset, the Armstrong being right there live and in person, all of this jazz, and here we are right back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong Sems. You're not sick.
Not sick.
I'm not sick.
I'm a sicko, but I'm not sick. I'm in sicko mode.
Sick'em. And this right here is back in action. I cannot believe it. It's like 75 degrees outside.
It felt like a bad dream. The last 10 days have felt just like such a whirlwind. It's like, I don't even know if that really happened. Like it left as quickly as it came.
Oh my goodness.
And now we're back in action in the stew.
More excited. Baylor men's basketball returns or up-tempo back in the stew?
Oh, don't make me do that.
I'm going to make you do it. I'm going to make you do it.
Don't make me do that because I'm going to get in trouble with my answer.
I got the table bell. Come on.
I love it.
I haven't had this table bell in so long. You know what I still have not done? I still have not taken the TV and the set back from under. When I was told we were going remote, I was like, I'm building a set.
Yeah.
And there was just the fire. Armstrong, is there a way
to
get fire back there? You know what? I'm going to bring my TV in tomorrow. We're going to sit it right here, and I'm just going to have the fire playing in the background.
Yeah, I like this backdrop a lot, though, too.
It's possible?
It's possible.
It would look terrible.
What if
we need to have a production conference?
What if we put like the up-tempo logo over like the fire?
What if we put the up-tempo logo on fire? What if it was
These are all good
fire?
ideas.
What if we lit this whole place on fire? Could we still do a show?
We're just going to table those?
What about real fire everywhere?
The creative juices are flowing.
Get all the bad ideas out right now.
Creative juices are flowing.
Everyone's just slowly logging off right now.
Oh, my goodness.
The numbers are plummeting.
254-339-1122. We're back in studio today. Baylor men's basketball returns tomorrow. Women's basketball played yesterday. Guess who else played yesterday? Everybody and their freaking mom played sports. What do we talked about it on the show last week, and whatever that was, the weird Drake's at home, Armstrong's at his friend's house, JD's in a garage.
By a bathroom.
There was a lot going on. That is a fever dream.
It really was.
That is a fever dream. Half the city was under ice, and hopefully everybody's okay now.
It's amazing people still watch the show with the lack of Wi-Fi that was in Waco, the lack of power that was in Waco.
I would ask you a question, and you'd say, nah.
Yeah,
and then that was it.
It was just cut out.
Gone.
It was just cut out.
And now we're here together in person. This is like a reunion.
I hope I don't cut out in real life.
But we were like, hey, nobody's playing this weekend because the weather has canceled everything. And we lied. We lied to the folks at home because Baylor coaches scrambled last second to find games to play this weekend. Baylor women's basketball played Oklahoma on the road. Kim Mulkey said it. Oklahoma's one of the hottest teams in the country right now. Baylor knocked them off by 11. They were tied
Took
at
them to
halftime.
the woodshed. And Carrington. Balling again off the bench, 30 minutes, 19 points. Like, they must just like her coming off the bench.
Dejanay Carrington's very good
He's
at basketball.
a baller. Men's
tennis beat Trinity 7-0 twice. They said, you want to see me do it again? And they did it again twice on the same day. There was a doubleheader. The baseball team, this was weird. Baseball team wins 12-7 in game one against UT Rio Grande Valley. You know, you think like UT Rio Grande Valley.
Still 7 runs, allowing 7 runs.
Allowing 7 runs.
Yeah.
And then game two, they go and blow them out 8-0 until they didn't anymore.
Yeah.
They were up 8-0, and then you get some new guys in there, some young arms, some fresh talent, and things kind of started trickling down, falling apart, not going the Bears' way. Next thing you know, Baylor lost 9-8 yesterday to UT Rio Grande Valley.
Which is strange because it wasn't the first game. You would think the first game, like, okay, maybe a little rusty, coming out, weird week, but it's the second game that got him. And for the first game, how about Jared McKenzie going yard a few times?
Brother.
The guy was hitting dingers.
If I tweeted it. Again, shameless plug on my Twitter.
It's a great follow, by the way.
If your name is Jared and you play for Baylor Athletics, that's a cheat code. I'm naming my son Jared, and he's playing something for Baylor.
I'm changing my name to Jared.
To Jared?
Yeah, I guess I have no more eligibility. But.
To be on the Baylor bobsledding team?
Yeah. I'm in. I think that would be the cheat code. I'm with you, though. Jared's, for whatever reason, in Waco, just do extremely well.
Something about Jared's, but only in Baylor sports. Outside of Baylor sports, Jared's just like,
who's due for a big year than is Jared Atkinson for the Baylor
really?
Football
That's
team.
A really good point that you
wide
made
receiver.
There. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of other Jareds.
Hey, go ahead and put your $500 Monopoly dollars down right now on Jared Atkinson winning the Heisman next year.
Yes.
The second receiver to do it.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
2 in a row.
What could have been? And then softball, they fell. They were up 2-0 against Arkansas after a home run from Taylor Ellis, who was on the show earlier last month. And then, some things didn't go their way. Kind of the same thing. A couple of hit batters, a couple of walks. Next thing you know, the Hogs put up 6th spot in the bottom of the third or the fourth. And then it was all Razorbacks after that. 7-2, number 25 Arkansas beats number 18 Baylor softball. But they come back. Extra innings, beat a really good McNeese State team 3-2. Baylor softball splits on Sunday as well.
Again, weird week. Like you wonder how much that played into the preparation. Is this like an accurate sample size? But all things considered, to get out 2-2, especially against a good Arkansas team, like number 25 in the country.
Right.
So they've got some talent. We're still sort of figuring out who's going to sit where during the softball season. But you'd like to go 2-0, right?
Arkansas is good at softball. This is a good point that you make, but I think Baylor could have won it. If you're listening out there and you're on the Twitter and you say, I'm on Twitter right now and I'm listening, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Why? Why would you do that? My dad calls me every day and he says, son, I'm watching you on Twitter and it's frustrating me because I have to keep clicking off and it cuts out. And I say, Dad, stop. You're being a silly goose. Don't do that. Hey. You're being a silly goose. Don't do that. Stop. And you know what he does now? He watches on Roku.
Really? He's on Roku?
On YouTube. On Roku, and he says, Alexa, play up tempo. Alexa, play it. And then she does. She plays it. You can do that too. You don't have to be like my dad. Don't be my dad. You're not my dad. You don't have to do that.
You're not my dad.
You can. You know what my mom said yesterday? You know what? And it's the reason that I'm not wearing them at the top of the show today. But I have glasses, to see. And I'm sitting at the breakfast table. I went home this weekend. I don't know, long week, crazy weather. Sure. I needed a change of scenery after the crazy week. So I go home. I drive to Arkansas on Saturday morning, and I come back on Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, I was home for 18 hours, 6.5-hour drive. Mm-hmm. My mother tells me at breakfast yesterday, yeah, I don't think I like the glasses.
You said she made fun of you when you first got prescribed glasses.
When I was a child. 4 eyes,
is
4.
That,
and she
is
would
that
point,
a true story?
And she would point and taunt. And
is that confirmed?
Yeah, I am the man that I am today because of that, I think. It was character building, as she called it. But then yesterday, we're at the breakfast table, and she was like, yeah, I don't, you're going to have to not wear those if you want to look good. And I was like, Mom, I'm just trying to see.
How crucial is the glasses to your sight?
Without them, I can see, but everything's very vague and blurry and distant.
Can you drive without them?
I can drive without them.
Okay.
I can drive, but it's very inconvenient. Like reading, and especially reading at distance, is very hard.
I really don't. I think they look good, and I'm not just saying that as your co-host, as your friend. I legitimately think they look good.
How much are we paying you? Triple it.
I can retire now.
But they then, you would think my sweet little grandma was there. She had just made us breakfast, and she doesn't listen to the show like my mom does. My mom's listening right now. My grandma doesn't listen to the show. But my grandma looks at, Mom texts me. Another text. I knew I'd have 3 texts. I do.
She loves to, I love that she texts
So as she's saying this, then my grandmother, she makes a good point. My grandmother instigated this, because my grandmother looks over after cooking us all breakfast, is like, yeah, I don't like your glasses. Like, Grandma, what? She's like, yeah, I don't think you look very good with glasses. Also, I walk in and I got joggers on, right, you guys? I'm wearing joggers, just like this, my white Vans. And my grandma was like, what, are you waiting for the flood? And I was like, what? And she's like, you're preparing for the flood. Grandma, what? And she was like, hike them pants down.
She didn't like a little ankle?
She didn't like a little ankle.
Everybody likes little ankle.
She said, she's from Arkansas.
Really? They don't do ankle in Arkansas?
They're about 10 years behind on the fashion. I said, Grandma, that's the style. She's like, no, it's not. I was like, Grandma, what? And then, like I said, she looks at me, she's like, I don't like your glasses. I'm like, all right. Let's diffuse the situation. Dude. And that is when my mom started attacking me as well for my glasses.
What a trip.
I'm telling you.
What a breakfast.
I went home. I went home to see my family that I love very much, dearly. And the only person that didn't make fun of my glasses were the dogs, and they can't talk, contrary to popular belief.
What a trip.
But my grandma, direct quote, she said, if you want to look like a hunk, ditch the glasses. If you want to look like a bookworm, wear them. I was like, Grandma, what?
What'd she say about the joggers? Like, she said, ditch the joggers, look like a hunk?
No,
like
I don't know.
I
think joggers are fine. I think it's just a pair of pants. But look, it's
the ankles.
She didn't like the ankle.
The ankle's
showing.
the ankle is the winner.
She didn't like the ankle.
The ankle is what sets the men from the boys.
I hope she likes the up-tempo jacket. Ruth,
up-tempo looks awesome.
Ruth is flipping.
Ruth doesn't miss.
Us up.
She does not miss.
So good. Ruth, if you're watching.
Ready for some up-tempo joggers.
I am too. Can we get those?
I bet we could do it.
Get Brian Etheridge on the horn.
Ruth could do it.
I bet Brian Etheridge should do it. Brian is a merch guy.
He shows ankles for sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
He shows ankles for sure.
Past weekend, Baylor women's tennis knocked off Washington and Washington State 4-3. The Washington State game was tight. That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay. Washington, Baylor swept it 4-0, and then Washington. You know, in tennis, if you the first one to score 4 points, it's the best of 7. So then you can be like, hey, we're done. We don't want to play anymore because you've already won.
Right.
That's what happens a lot, especially in big competitive matches. But Baylor beat Washington 4-0, and then Washington was like, we'll keep playing. And they did.
Roll the ball out, let the kids play.
And they won the next 3. They won the next 3 singles points. But
do you like that? Do you like that they said, let's keep playing?
Yeah, I do. I think that's circumstantial where you say, like, hey, no, we're good.
Yeah.
But I think tennis is the way that I understand it is that if a one team goes up by 4, then whatever else is going on in the other singles courts, like they're in the middle of the match and like, hey, we're good.
Also, if you're Baylor, like you made the trip out to Washington, which is a pretty decent flight.
True.
Like we're here to play tennis, we might as well exhaust our rackets, right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Livia Krause had a really big hit in a really big rally volley hit. Insert word here.
A grand slam. If you will.
Something like that in one of the matches the other day. And I'm gonna try to find that clip as we take our first caller. We're back in studio.
Back.
We can do callers now.
Back in the stew, Aisha Curry.
We've got T-Rex on the Impact Health Labs caller line. T-Rex, you are the first one on the new and improved, renovated up-tempo.
Hey, I'm getting my fix now. I'm not like shaking anymore because I couldn't call in all week. You know, I wasn't shaking from the cold. I was shaking from not getting my up-tempo fix. You know what I'm saying, man?
I was.
Got into them cheeseburgers. I don't know if you understand that reference. You may be a little young. Anyway, real quick, you are correct. It is a volley.
I think it's a Baylor
like in volleyball,
Bigfoot
a rally or a volley, whatever you want to say. And also, I think when I was calling in, kind of clicks over to the audio. I think you were trying to figure out why we sometimes play to 7 points and sometimes in the match just at 4. Am I correct there?
We were just
yeah. Fill us in.
So, to my knowledge, and by no means am I a tennis expert, I just yell a lot at games. From what I've understood while talking to players and more tennis experts, it really just depends on, like, if the teams agree ahead of time, hey, we're going to play out all the matches no matter what. And it sounds like that usually depends on if you have some ranked players and they're trying to get ranked, wins on their record. So I think, when like the ITA, that was a tournament, you're not going to waste energy playing 7 matches if you don't have to. So, if we win 4-0, call it a day, we got to play tomorrow. But in this case, if, it's more of a match that doesn't matter as much, then and your guys can get some ranked wins, or if they're just a ranked player and they want those stats, then the coaches will have them play it out just to get those wins on the record.
Interesting. Tennis Rex.
Tennis.
I love it.
Let's not go that far. I got to play doubles because I don't got the cardiovascularness to cover the whole
Me neither. Yeah.
Cardiovascularness.
We'll be doubles partners,
That's
T-Rex.
T-Rex, how about
thanks, man. You're my best friend, J.D.
T-Rex has the height, man. He's got that long, T-Rex, Baylor men's basketball.
In the words of Papa Athlete Hodge, wingspan matters.
Wingspan does freaking matter.
It does.
Tomorrow, Baylor men's basketball comes back. How about it? Score prediction, Bears by 100?
I'm excited. I mean, for multiple reasons. I think we're all excited that we're finally going to be back. Obviously, I think we're all also a little nervous just because, that is a big layoff. And it's not like they could all just practice for 20 days. It's not like we just didn't play games. So there are rules that prevented, at least some of these guys from doing anything, I'm assuming. So, there's going to be a rush. I think we got to take it at face value. However, if I had to pick an opponent that couldn't be Kansas State or TCU, I would take Iowa State just based on rankings in the Big 12 and how they played all year.
Beautiful.
They have played better at times, but I think I think our team is just so much better the game won't be a blowout, but like it should be. But I think we couldn't, in the circumstances, we couldn't pick a better team to come back against. Yep. So I think we'll be all right. I'm not going to make a score prediction just because it's the circumstances. I'd say we win by, at least 5, maybe 10. But I think if we weren't, coming back from a pause, we win by 20. But that's just because I hate Iowa State. But I'm more excited. We'll take care of business there. I just found out I'll be at the game on Thursday versus West Virginia. So we'll take care of old Hutton there. But I'm the most excited about Saturday at 7 p.m., unless the time's changed, in Lawrence, Kansas, because I'm going to be there. I fly out Friday.
No way.
And boy, it's my 5th trip in a row to Kansas. Oh, last year was so much fun, and I can't wait for this year because it's only going to be 25% fans, which means I'm going to be that much louder. Just make them all mad. Because let me tell you, last year I sat on row 5 and we upset them one for the first time in Fog Allen. I ain't never seen that many rich KU supporters so mad at a guy from Waco, Texas. And it was just, I've never done coke, but if I had to assume the feeling, I'm pretty sure it's all the same.
Is he comparing cocaine to watching Baylor men's basketball win in Lawrence, Kansas?
That sounds about right. From all the TV I've seen of people doing cocaine.
It just had me feeling some type of way, baby.
Wow. Hey, maybe they'll do it again. I think they got a legitimate shot, but I am really glad they got the tune-up on Tuesday. Could be, I don't know if I'd favor Baylor by 20, but they got a legit shot to win this thing against Kansas and Lawrence, and I think Tuesday's a big part of that, to get their feet back up under them. But also they play Thursday.
I agree. I mean, I'm not saying 20 points over Iowa State currently. I'm saying had we not had a break, then we probably could have beat them by 20.
I don't know.
Maybe like 5 to 8 point win.
West Virginia Thursday? I'm almost more excited for West Virginia Thursday.
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit for Thursday.
Gosh.
That's going to be a good. I like
West
that we
Virginia's
have that.
Good at basketball.
2 home games before you hit the road too. 2 homestands, then you hit the road. Like that's a really favorable matchup for Baylor, or a favorable schedule, I should say. Favorable matchup right off the bat with Iowa State too. I love the way this looks for Baylor as opposed to Oklahoma or Oklahoma State right off the bat.
Also, breaking news, T-Rex, the duo, Daft Punk, has broken up after 28 years of making music together. Dead or alive, Daft Punk.
Well, dead now.
Well, they're dead now. He's dead or alive. They're dead.
They're dead now.
Who did they?
T-Rex Bear
I
Games.
didn't know that Daft Punk was even 28 years old.
I didn't either. That's
the
very
actual
surprising.
People, I thought they were only like 23.
What's their hit? What is Daft Punk's hit? Don't they have some hits?
They've got some good stuff out there. While you're looking that up, T-Rex Bear Games question of the day today. If you could wrestle one large animal, a fight to the death, what animal would you be able to kill?
It's going to be the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 because he unfortunately got the best of me in that movie. But guess what? We're bigger, faster, stronger, and more pissed off, so we're coming back strong. We're gonna right the wrongs.
I forget that
terrible movie.
It's a real life dinosaur it's calling in right now. I forget that sometimes. Far be it from me. JD, do you have Daft Punk? Also, T-Rex.
One more time. That's the only one I know on here.
One more time.
One more time.
One last time.
We're gonna celebrate.
Cowboy or Longhorn in the Big 12 Mascot Madness?
I mean, I've never seen a cowboy behind barbed wire fence surrounded by Longhorns. Only the vice versa, so I'm going to go with the cowboy.
Yeah, I agree. And then Wildcat or a Sooner? Man, I don't like a Sooner right now a lot, but I think a Wildcat's probably got him.
Well, I mean, it looks like the Sooners can't fight, at least when it's in a bathroom fight in a bar. So I'm sure you saw that video.
I did see that. That was funny.
Do Sooners have guns in this scenario?
Sooner does have a gun, a revolver probably,
that's a big
or
one.
a Winchester, as Armstrong would probably like us to say.
Repeater rifle.
Yeah, he's got a what's that? What's that?
Musket?
No, not a musket. We're past a musket. Armstrong corrected us. Musket's too outdated.
Rifle, musket,
okay.
bayonet.
Bolt action. What do you want us to call it?
They probably have a lever action.
Yeah, lever action. We're talking about the Sooner. What weapon the Sooner has? Thanks for paying attention.
They have straight up rifles.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
I was in Norman yesterday, and I saw a couple Sooners at the women's basketball game, and they just don't raise their men the same way as we do in Texas. So, I mean, we're not Kansas State, but I lived in Kansas for 6 years, so I'm still going to go with the Wildcats because them Okies from Muskogee, man, not only do they not roll it the same way, but they just don't grow it the same way. And I don't think they can handle themselves.
Oh, yep. I like it. Thanks for your call, T-Rex.
Hey, SicEm Bears, get the joggers, make sure they're gray. Gray sweatpants season, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
He shows ankle for sure.
Oh, he shows
He's
ankle.
all ankle all the time.
3 Baylor men's basketball games this week. I am so happy today. I am filled.
Wild.
I went home, got bullied by my family.
Yeah.
Came back to a stew. Had 2 tests. You know, I took a math test today.
I heard that. How'd it go?
It went well. I was the first one in the class finished.
Is that like typical for you, or
No, no. I don't know about typical, if that typical is the right word. If typical is what we're going to go with there. But, I felt good.
Felt good off
it's the
hand?
same math class that Jade Owens is in.
really?
Yes.
Where did she rank in terms of finishing order?
I don't know because I finished first and left.
True or false? Did Jade? Mic drop. I think Jade Owens might have copied you.
No.
I don't know.
We are study partners.
Stop.
I will not stop. I will not stop.
Gosh.
I will not stop.
So was she like double checking her work?
My gosh. Double checking her work?
Yeah. Is that why she took longer?
I don't know. Maybe. She was on top of things. Everybody in there is just.
I don't want to call the NCAA in on academic integrity stuff, but sounds like Jade Owens might have been copying your work.
Your boy is studious. We took a math test today. I made an 80 on my poli-sci test yesterday, though.
Let's go.
That's the first time I told my mom that. Let's go. I need to do better than an 80.
Better than
yesterday.
Yeah, I did. It was due yesterday. You know, the kids nowadays can do all their classes online.
Back in my day, we had to actually go into a room and physically sit down and take a test on paper.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
I know.
Back when Armstrong and I were in school and dinosaurs roamed the earth.
T-Rexes.
T-Rex. Tennis
Seriously.
Rexes.
So I want to show you guys the funniest thing that I saw all weekend. This is where we'll start. There are lots of videos that I sent Armstrong that are all very, very nice. But this is the funniest one that I saw all weekend. The caption of this is, "Give this guy a TV show immediately." And I just feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't play this to start your Monday. And then, you know what? Probably after this, we'll play the hockey video too, just because it is a Monday and that this is what we've become. Armstrong, do you have that video? He said I do.
Hey, have you ever looked at your bathroom door and thought, can I hit that with a hammer? Well, you're watching Can I Hit That With a Hammer? And I'm Justin. Can we hit it with a hammer? That's what we're here to find out. The hammer part side first.
Oh, no.
Probably shouldn't do that. Claw side. Probably shouldn't do that either.
He's an animal.
That's Justin.
I feel like he's someone that grew up that we saw in a movie that like he was a kid in the movie, but now he's all grown up. Like, is that Sid? Is that Sid from Toy Story all grown up?
No, Sid was an animated character. Contrary to popular belief.
That's him.
Sid was an animated character.
That's the one.
You know Sid's in Toy Story 4?
Really?
Yes, I did know that.
No, 3.
That's wild. Yeah, it was one of the later Toy Stories. That's wild.
I didn't know I don't remember him 4. But 3, it could have been there. But that right there, that's Justin, and he has a TV show called Can I Hit That With a Hammer? I love that. The content, spectacular. All right, I'm Drake Toll, it's J.D. Pickell. When we come back, we got some things to get to on the Impact Help Labs caller line. We got a caller from Stephen from Virginia. You know what?
Yeah, that's wild.
There he is.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
All right, here's what we got. I have, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Stephen from Virginia, we're not going to go into a break. I need it. I need it in my veins. Stephen from Virginia, you're on with Up-Tempo for the first time in a week. Welcome back.
Hey, guys. Are y'all warm now?
We're thawing out up here.
It is like 75 today.
I just want y'all to know that y'all 3 have been at the top of my prayer list. I know how hard everything has been going on in Texas, and I was really worried about y'all, and y'all made a show, and y'all didn't have to. You know, a lot of people in Texas couldn't go to work, and y'all still did it. So y'all should be really proud of yourselves. Like, that's full-on adult stuff, and, like, y'all really did it. So y'all should be proud. I wanted to start with that. It was good content. It was good shows.
Thanks,
Thank you, Stephen. We are BU ilt different around here, right, Armstrong? BU ilt different.
And before I get into my thing, Drake, you should have a package coming to your apartment, and you and the guys can have a movie night if you want.
Wow, Steven.
Sold.
Anyway,
that's kind of.
I'm calling because I had two things I wanted to talk about. First, I wanted to look. I loved y'all's Big 12 schedule analysis. I think I think we talked about the odd schedules always come out a little bit easier than the even schedules, and I think that helps. I think this is a team that has 3 games out of the gate that are almost as preseason games, and you don't need to have a quarterback competition necessarily, but you should be beating those schools enough that more than one quarterback can get reps. And by the third game, I would say that more than one quarterback has gotten reps. We can see who's doing the best with the offense. And I look at that team, you look at those 3 wins. I look at Texas Tech and Kansas State as probable wins since we beat them last year and we'll be better this year. And then it really comes down to, can you win one of these 3 games, Oklahoma State, Brigham Young, the homecoming game, or West Virginia, when Steven from Virginia will be in Waco to see it. So we'll see.
Let's go.
I hope they let fans.
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Steven, we're throwing down.
I wanted to ask y'all before Bear games. We have 7 games that were canceled. We're probably only going to be able to make up 3 of them. Does it make sense to go outside of the state to these games? I mean, we have games against Texas that we can replay, TCU that we can replay, Texas Tech that we can replay. And with the ice and the weather, it's just made me think, does it really matter if we make sure we play West Virginia twice? The weather across this country right now is horrible. So I'd love to get y'all's take on that after we do some Bear games.
All right, Steven, Bear games today. Cowboy and a Longhorn are squaring off one-on-one. Who wins it?
The Cowboy is armed, right?
Yeah, the Cowboy is armed.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is anybody who's armed always has a chance.
Uh-huh.
I'm with you
So
on that one.
I think I'll go with the Cowboy.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That's probably smart to go with the armed one. A Wildcat or a Sooner?
Now, Wildcat isn't as tame as like Bevo. Like every time I've ever seen Bevo's just chilling on the sideline.
It's all drugged up.
Fighting Bevo, but like a Wildcat is wild. So if you're putting him in a cage with somebody, the Sooner would have to be able to get in a good position and have one shot before the Wildcat got to him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give the Wildcat this one.
I like that call. I like if it's a large Wildcat. I don't think a Sooner's that tough.
I think I think rifles are pretty tough though.
You have the right Sooner.
I think a rifle's. Yeah, I guess it does depend on which Sooner we're dealing with here. But if you got a rifle, I think you got a chance.
Steven, if you could wrestle a large animal, and you have to win or you die, which one is it going to be?
How large?
It's just got to be a large animal. Large. This is up to interpretation. It is very subjective.
Yeah,
sure.
So this is a funny story about things people do in the South. When I was a Boy Scout, we had like a feral hog, like a large feral hog, run across the property. And so until we got in trouble, we had like a contest to see who could wrestle the pig. And I won the contest. So if it's a large feral hog, I feel rather safe. Anything more than that, and I'm probably pushing it.
Now, is this a hog or like a pig? Because I know the hogs are like hogs are pretty dangerous from what I understand. Like you don't want to be out at night.
Yeah, I don't want to sell myself short. This was a pretty big pig hog.
Oh yeah, that's actually really impressive.
All right, we're giving Steven from Virginia the hog.
That's impressive.
Steven, thanks for your call.
Later, guys.
See you, Steve.
All right, with the weather and stuff, kind of Steven makes a point. Does Baylor men's basketball stick it around in Texas and finish up those games locally first?
I think it's advantageous to finish up the local schedule if you can. I think that's probably your best bet. I would stick with like the immediate surrounding location, just from like a COVID standpoint. Like I don't know, like how much of a risk is COVID now that it seems like everybody's probably had it. Like I would assume the majority of the teams had it, which is advantageous. But I mean, just COVID in general. Like if you're sticking with just like COVID protocols in general, let's just play all the games that are close first and worry about the rest later. I'd like to see West Virginia twice, but I mean, I think you have to be conscious of the tournament as opposed to whatever your Big 12 schedule looks like. You can forfeit a game or two and still win the whole thing. Mathematically.
I think we're going to go. Yeah, but I don't want to forfeit any games. I'm going to vie with play the toughest schedule. Before we play local, I'm going to go with play the toughest schedule. Play at Kansas, which they will. Play at West Virginia, at Texas, which is local. But yeah, I'm going to go with try to fit in your tough games, your road games in Norman. I want to see Baylor in Morgantown, at Fog Allen, in Norman, and at home against Texas Tech. Those are like my 6 right now that I'm circling really big.
Because the only trip that they would take outside of Texas is West Virginia, right? And then Lubbock is a ways away, but that's the only one outside of the state they have to take, right?
They're going to Lawrence.
Yeah, so like outside of the ones they have scheduled, it would just be a trip to Morgantown, which I guess is like, I mean, how much can really happen in Morgantown, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, does the COVID just lurking in Morgantown, especially with Baylor? Baylor's like indestructible now. I'm pretty sure.
Morgantown's a pretty quiet place. We got Dexter from California. Dexter from Anaheim. Dexter.
All right, Dex.
Well, it's been a while, man. Welcome back.
Thank you. And by the way, I want to start out by saying that I got the sticker, like SicEm365's name.
Sticker.
So I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Put it on my laptop, and yeah, I'm glad to be back on with you guys.
Welcome back, man. It's good to have you.
So with Baylor men's basketball, the season come to a close pretty quickly. Wanted to talk about March Madness a little bit and get your opinions on what a team would have to do to beat us before we make a Final Four. Give us a little analysis on the team and how we don't make a Final Four.
I think Drake and I talked about this a little bit maybe a week or two ago. It's like if you get a really dominant big, if you run into a really dominant big like we saw a year ago when Kansas came to town with, I don't even know how to say his name, Azubuike. Yeah, I mean, if you get someone like that, I mean, that's just a game wrecker in my mind. I think that's the most immediate threat to Baylor, but I'm trying to think who that would be.
You know, Dexter, I think a big part of Baylor's game is that they can run so well with any team. They can play to Virginia's style. They can slow it down, play great defense, and win a game 60-49. Or what they can do is they can go fast-paced, up-tempo, play with Auburn, and win it 90-84, you know? So I think Baylor's not going to have an issue with any team that wants to play a certain pace or tempo. I agree that it's gonna be a tough big man. I think a team like Iowa against Baylor in the Sweet 16 maybe, or in the Elite 8, say that those two teams match, that's really dangerous for Baylor, I think. Illinois is hot right now. I don't think Baylor's going to see Michigan, maybe not Illinois either, until the Final Four. But I think those two teams are scary. But I really do think you've got an Iowa with Luka Garza who can shoot well outside, can dominate inside. They're going to be hard-pressed to beat a team like that. And then I look at, too, like a team like USC. USC's got some good bigs that are nimble, that can play high at the rim. Teams like that'll probably give Baylor a good run for their money. I don't think Baylor will lose before the Final Four, but I agree. I think a team with one or two dominant bigs, that's going to be the one to do it.
The beautiful thing is Baylor can shoot so well. If the shot's on, they control their own destiny. Like, if you get hot at the right time shooting in March from the arc, they are going to be fine. But yeah, to echo Drake's point, I'm with him on the big. It's dangerous.
What do you think, Dexter?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I agree with y'all's analysis. I mean, I really don't think we're going to lose before Final Four, but yeah, I mean, a team like USC, Iowa could easily put us on our toes, and we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I have another question for you guys. Want to switch it up. It's going to be a little tougher. Would you guys consider our season a failure if we don't make a Final Four?
Wow, that's a great question.
Dexter,
that's a great question.
I will say, I'll start off the answering with this one, and I'll say it's kind of tiered here. I want to say yes, undoubtedly yes, if Baylor ends up having to forfeit games. COVID is tough, and it's going to put people in tough spots, but you're in a situation where, as a team, you know, 3 issues. 3 different COVID stints, breaks you've had to take here. At what point you're like, all right, guys, hey, we got to get it together. We got to get it together right now. I think if Baylor finds themselves forfeiting 2 games at the end of the year, and then so maybe they end up going undefeated in Big 12 play, forfeit 2 games, say they even win the Big 12 tournament, and then end up losing the Sweet 16, I think you're going to consider this season a failure. You're going to look back and say, well, shoot, Well, shoot, we were ready for you guys to play in the Final Four. Where was that? I think Baylor fans will feel so empty that it will be considered a failure. Now, from a team standpoint, you're going to hang a Big 12 banner. You're going to have you're going to have the rings, chip on your shoulder. But I think the Final Four is the ultimate goal. Anything short of that is going to be disappointing at least. Especially since it's been 2 years in the making. Like a year ago, we were talking about this team going to the Final Four, winning a national championship, then bam, COVID hit. Everything's up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. Season's up getting canceled. So now that put even more pressure in my mind on this year with so many guys coming back. Maceo T deciding to come back. Just so many guys continue to pour into this program. And so now they came back to win, or not just to win a Big 12 championship, to go to the Final Four, to make that run in March, because that's what I think the next step is for this team, for this program. And so I would say it's definitely a failure if you don't end up making it to the Final Four and getting that national recognition that they've garnered during the regular season, but they should really earn in March.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you guys. I would definitely consider it a failure, especially given our depth this year and just the way we played. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Last question, on that note, would you consider Scott Drew a choke artist if we don't make a Final Four? I know he hasn't been there before, made 2 Elite Eights. He's choked before. We've lost, first round, Sweet 16. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
That's
hard
tough.
question.
I think, we are not supposed to say yes. I want to start with that. We're not supposed to say yes at all. Choke artist would probably be a little harsh. I think you get in a situation where you got to ask yourself, okay, with the depth of this team, not just depth, but how senior laden they are. They've got guys that have been around for 2 or 3 years in college basketball. That's what's tough, man, is then do you put it on those guys who have become basically their own coach as a team, or do you land that on Scott Drew? Because then you say, okay, well, now you've had 3 or 4 shots at a Final Four and not made it. Who does that fall on? I don't know if Scott Drew gets the choke artist tab, but there will be the question of, and I think it comes down to sometimes you see the Baylor offense is stagnant. There are times where there's not a certain set being run. It is just a, 5-out set or a 4-1 set where they're running a screen, pick away, roll, pass, and fake. So I don't know. I have not seen Baylor run a ton of I will say I have seen Baylor at times become stagnant offensively or become complacent offensively in games. And if that happens and that's the reason they lose in the round of 32, yes. The answer to that question is yes.
And depending on how early it is, too, because we've seen recent years, we've seen Baylor teams losing the first round, whether it was Georgia State or Yale. Like, we've seen them underachieve multiple times. Now, if they were to do that this season, then absolutely you got to say they're a choke artist because you were the best team in the country. You were either number 1 or number 2 overall seed in the whole thing. And if you lose in that round of 32, absolutely you're a choke artist, 100%. But I don't foresee that happening. I think if they were to make a Sweet 16, I mean, it's March, it's madness for a reason. It's hard to give them the choke artist label at that point. But if you lose in the round of 32 or God forbid it be in the very first round to a 16 seed, like 100% you earn the choke artist title, and you earn that 1,000,000%.
Which I give Bill Self, even though they won it in 08, I still give Bill Self the choke artist tag, and I did for a while for Roy Williams up until that national championship. What was it, Armstrong? 16?
You gave Roy Williams choke artist 17.
It was 17.
You gave him a choke artist.
What was it? What was the last one before that?
The one before that was the one they lost in the buzzer beater.
Before that.
2000.
When they won it, they won in 09.
They won in 05, 09, and 2017. Actually, as a UNC fan, I'll give you, there was a time there in about like 2013, 14, when I doubted Roy Williams. It was like he's past his prime. And then he came back, made it to the championship in 2016, made it back, and won in 2017. And I said, I'll never question him again.
It is impressive that they did that.
Sorry, you asked me about Roy Williams, and so I had to go on a rant.
Passionate, the monologue. So, Dexter, I don't think choke artist means you're a bad coach either. I think I'd give it to Bill Self right now. But I think if Baylor loses in the round of 32, that question will be raised.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Scott Drew's a great coach, no doubt about it. You'd hate to see it happen. And obviously don't want to come back on here and have that conversation if it does. But I mean, I agree. I'm kind of in between you two. I don't think there's a way you don't call him a choke artist, but also I don't know. I'm a Scott Drew fan. I like Scott Drew. I think he's a great guy, great coach. So would hate to put that label on him. I think it's a little harsh. But.
Yeah. All right, Dexter, Bear games today. A Cowboy and a Longhorn, a fight to the death. Who you got?
Oh, I got the Cowboy all the way.
Wildcat or a Sooner?
Wildcat.
Wildcats. Wrestle a large animal. Wrestling one large animal to the death. It is a fight to the death. Who are you wrestling? What are you wrestling?
This is a good one. I think I'm just going to go with the lion.
Wow. Wow, Dexter.
Really?
You know, Dexter, I love you, man. I really do. But I don't know if you're beating a lion.
Why are you lying, Dexter? Revenant. How about Revenant? I'm surprised we're not getting more bear references.
That's a good point.
That's based on a true story.
Thanks for your call, Dexter.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Dexter.
That was a great call.
Dexter out.
That was a great call
man.
by Dexter.
I don't want to.
That was a great question, too. Choke artist? Like, that'll be a real conversation we have on air if they lose around 32.
I don't want to call Scott.
I don't think that's it's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but if it did, we talk about it.
It's a very large hypothetical. All right, we're going to hit a break right here. When we come back, we're going to look at some of these Impact Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line questions. We've had a bunch of them that we haven't been able to get to because we have a bunch of calls and stuff. Thank you for the reference.
Yeah, how about that?
That was good. That was good.
How about Leo? He's great.
We're going to hit a little Armstrong's Minute action right here. When we come back, we're going to do the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. A little bit of, we're going to dabble. Just a little dabble.
Just a sprinkle it, huh?
We're going to dabble in the SicEm Pick'em, and then we're going to do Music Monday because it is
Monday.
That's Monday. I'm Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims. This is Uptempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and Company 77-66, thanks to Melissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road 92-87. Number 7 Virginia fell at Duke 66-65. Number 13 West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12 Texas 84-82. And number 23 Kansas won at home against number 15 Texas Tech 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend with wins against Washington State 4-3 and Washington also 4-3. While the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged a loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong Sims today. The Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. We're like 7 or 8 weeks into the show. And I still don't have one of those little doohickeys where you can press a button and it goes, oh, yeah. That's all I've ever wanted.
If you just go like this, I'll do it. I'll do it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about
That's
that,
good.
huh? How about
if
that?
Can I, like 2 taps is like a boom, you know? Can we get a little bit of...
I'll workshop what effects I have.
Okay. Tonight, you'll get back with me on what you got?
I'll take inventory.
We got good to see y'all in studio again, fellas. Here's my question. How bad do y'all feel for Baylor's next eventual opponent? I've got a feeling. Name the band.
Oh, Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, he beat you to it. Name the lead singer.
Fergie, Will.i.am. They're all lead singers.
That's a good point. They all.
Will.i.am
the
lead singer? Though?
I would have said Will.i.am probably.
Yeah.
I actually knew that, which is really shocking to me.
Tonight's the night. Let's live
I
it
would
up.
not think that I would know that.
Down the money. Let's spend it up.
Let's spend it up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Singing seldom goes well on this show.
I love it.
Good to see y'all in studio again. How bad do you feel for Baylor's next opponent? They're going to play. They're going to pay the price for our angst and boredom. I like the fact that we slipped the word angst in there.
That was good.
Would you say Baylor's an angsty men's basketball team?
I think we're more blue collar than angst. You know what I'm saying? I think angst. Maybe they're angsty right now. I feel bad because it's Iowa State. Like, I don't feel bad, but I think it's going to be worse because it's Iowa State. It's advantageous for Baylor, but if you get one of the Oklahomas off a break, like I think that probably presents more issues. Obviously, like they haven't played in 20 some odd days. They're coming off of the ice age. Like it's craziness. But I think the fact that it's an opponent like Iowa State gives you a lot more confidence. Like Baylor's walking into this game thinking, okay, we're going to take care of Iowa State. Like nobody is thinking okay, we have to really play our very best game to beat Iowa State. Like you can play subpar and still probably win this game by double digits, 8 points, something like that. Like they'll win this game handily.
I don't feel bad for Iowa State at all. I think Baylor's going to struggle a little bit. I think they'll struggle a little bit. It's not like they're going to come right out of the gates firing. When people get COVID, you and I have both experienced it now.
Yep. Indestructible.
Lived through it. And when people get COVID, though, I couldn't go and be an athlete.
Yeah.
Like right after having COVID. So I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for them to.
Like the shot and defense. Like those are 2 things I'm interested to see how quickly do their legs get back underneath them, and how quickly does the shot come back.
We've also been told by inside sources that maybe not everyone will still be back, so it's possible we won't even see the full Baylor on Tuesday night. So yeah, that is not confirmed at all, but there are through grapevines we've heard things. Scotty B, the Baylor King, says definitely great wins for Baylor women in tennis on Saturday against Washington State. It was 3-3. Came down to Olivia Krause, who won 6-3 in the third set. Armstrong, I'm glad that he brings this up because we got a video of Olivia Krause hitting that final shot for Baylor to beat Washington State.
Jeez.
Wow.
I'm tired watching this.
This one's insane.
Golly.
This next one. Woo! Yeah.
Dude, she's moving. Was that her who let the yell? Like the LeBron James
little war cry.
Kinda like,
yeah, little war cry.
That was a rally.
Dude, that was hardcore.
That was a dig.
Yeah.
She was moving. She was running that end line back and forth.
She was running.
She was running and running and
Who sings it?
Running and
Who sings it?
No
It's the Black Eyed Peas.
Really?
Lead singer. Who's the lead singer?
Will I Am.
Got
it.
There it is.
Well, I got that. Is that the Boom Boom Pow song? No, it's not.
I think it's like an older one. I think.
It's and running.
Running.
It's on Kicking and Screaming.
It is.
I think it's in Kicking and Screaming.
Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell and Mike Ditka. I watched
Italians.
that this weekend.
It's such a good
I
movie.
watched that.
Such a great movie.
I'm advertising this now, so you have time. If you want to do Music Monday, call in right now.
Yeah, if you guys
This
want to
is
do
the
Music
time.
Monday, call in now.
I'd say that.
Scotty B says 6-3. Of course, yesterday the match against Washington clinched by Angie Shakrachuk in the 3-set match after losing the first set 6-0. But if the match against Washington State ended like normal, such as the Big 12 tournament or NCAA tournament, it would have been 4-0, not 4-3. Match against Washington, not Washington State. I'm sorry.
What a last
Congrats
name.
to JD for beating swine flu, says Jack Wheeler.
There we go.
Hey. I had swine flu.
I think I had it too.
I had swine flu, and I had COVID-19.
Dude,
I'm just BU ill different.
we're statistics at this point.
Think about it. Statistically speaking,
Yeah.
what are the odds that I should be here today?
What are the odds that I haven't gotten COVID at some point? Right? Like I probably definitely have the antibodies. I've definitely had it.
Dude, I thought that for a long
Yeah,
time, but then
everybody
I
says
got it, and I was like, okay, like
Everybody says
I noticed this. Like it knocks you down. I think everyone just takes it differently, obviously, but
yeah.
I get knocked down, but I'll get up again. Who sings that?
Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
Really?
Lead singer?
Wait, no. Is it?
No,
Okay, I was
it's
gonna
not
say.
Black Eyed Peas.
I was making
I was
a
like,
joke.
dude, I have no idea who sings that.
Really?
I don't know.
What is that? What's the name of that song?
Knocked down.
I get knocked down.
No, I don't think it is.
know.
I get knocked down. Before I get up again.
So it's like a really British guy.
It's like one of the most
Very
misheard
British.
song lyrics of all
It
time.
came across the pond, though, I think, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's here in the
People
States.
hear it as I get knocked down by an elephant for the longest time.
An elephant.
Yeah.
That'd do it,
Think
though.
about it.
An elephant would get knocked
I would
down.
get knocked down by an elephant. Jack Wheeler says, FYI, Leah Miller broke the 800-meter indoor school record last weekend. She just keeps breaking records.
I was saying, yep.
You were celebrating it?
I was going,
I thought you said
yeah,
no.
woo!
I thought you said no for a second. I was
said,
like,
let's
oh,
go.
shit, bro.
Thanks
How
for
about
being
it,
so
Leah
excited.
Miller?
That was really, congratulations, Leah Miller.
That's a hard race, too. That's like arguably the hardest race in all of track and field, from what I understand.
T-Rex says, yes, it matters, Steven from Virginia, because I have tickets on row 7 to OU, and my crew needs that game to happen. So the OU games matters to T-Rex.
Let's run it then.
Sick 'em pick 'em today. We're going to do it really short. Don't do what I did and bet on North Alabama, because you will lose your Monopoly money.
That could still happen.
It won't happen.
You don't think so?
I had them first half. And
Eastern
they're down
Kentucky,
17.
man. Eastern Kentucky.
That was quick.
At
You didn't pull out the...
Southern Missouri.
To be honest with the folks at home, are
Minus
you saying
4.5.
that 'cause it's the first game that was on here?
Yes, and because I actually like Eastern Kentucky against the spread.
Really?
They're phenomenal against the spread. Or they have been typically they're 7-1 against the spread.
Hey.
Or 14-7-1. Excuse me.
You want to know a secret?
Talk to me.
No. Southeast Missouri beat Eastern Kentucky 94-72.
They're going to cover 4.5 tonight.
Oh my gosh! Eastern Kentucky's going to come back and beat them by 4.5 after losing by 20.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things, good show. UNC Greensboro. You know what? I've stopped doing the money line thing where it's like, oh, plus 900 or minus 900. I'm going to take you. I'm going to stop doing that.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
UNC Greenboro, Western Carolina. I like UNC Greenboro minus 8.5. Western Carolina just lost at home to Wofford by like a gajillion. Western Carolina's not very good at basketball, so I like that one.
Morehead State, another good team against the spread.
Morehead State.
With trends, they're rolling them and Pepperdine. I like both those games. They're back-to-back on the schedule here. Against St. Mary's. St. Mary's minus 5.5. Pepperdine's just pretty decent against the spread, especially in conference games.
Yeah,
like this
St.
one
Mary's is not very good this year either, so that's a good call.
Conference game, I'm rolling with them. Also, your boys, Drake.
Hey.
Minus 11.5.
Oh.
All they do is cover. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Drake minus 11.5 at home against Evansville. Love that. I'm locking that one in as well.
They did cover yesterday.
They're cover machines, like blankets.
They did cover. So just put the house on Drake.
Put the whole house, the mortgage, first, second, and third born.
The car.
All of it.
Wow. Duke at home against Syracuse. I don't know. Duke's played pretty well lately. They've won 3 straight, including against West Virginia. They're at home against the Syracuse team that's won 3 straight too. What do you do?
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here. I feel like the teams that really underperformed during this year, like the Blue Bloods that really underperformed, like Kentucky, Duke, UNC, they're sort of like having a revenge tour, it seems like. They're trying to like, maybe they just have nothing left to play for. The pressure's off. Like nobody really cares if they're a Blue Blood now. They're probably not making the tournament. Like I think Duke minus 5.5. If I wanted to play this, I'd pick a side with Duke minus 5.5. I probably won't touch it because I think Syracuse, you just never know what they're going to do. But Duke at home minus 5.5 looks appetizing, especially the way they've played lately.
My upset pick of the day. Upset pick of the day. Arkansas State money line against Texas State tonight. I know, you're at home, you're going, that's not going to happen. And you're wrong. Sam Houston State covers against Lamar minus 9.5.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Texas Tech minus 3.5 at Oklahoma State. I like a lot, but I want Oklahoma State. Whatever Oklahoma State is, plus 2 at halftime, I want that. Give me that, but also give me Texas Tech minus 3.5 for the game. Oklahoma State's just insane in the first half. USC at home against Oregon. This is the last one we're going to do, and then we're going to do Music Monday.
All right. You like USC? Or you like USC? I'm not even finding the line here.
The line is USC by 4.
USC minus 4.
Right. But Oregon has won 5 straight. They got one of their players back who was hurt, and now they're dogs. USC just lost at home by 9 to Arizona 2 days ago. That was before they had won like 16 straight, which is not real. I'm being facetious.
It feels that way, though.
Yeah.
14-8 against the spread. I feel like USC, last time I checked, is pretty decent in conference games against the spread.
Right.
So I'll probably lean USC here, but
Oregon's played so well
Oregon's
lately.
been good lately. Absolutely. I think they're also pretty good against the spread in conference games. So this is a toss-up to me. Again, I don't know if I love it. Maybe it's a halftime play. If I'm using my better judgment, which I seldom do.
Halftime plays have bitten me. They've killed me for some reason.
You've been doing well in the first half, though, you said, right? First half. Walk me through the logic there, because I haven't done that as much.
No, I did. I won like my first 2 first-half plays, and then I stopped winning them.
That's okay.
It's all right. We're going to be joined here in a second by Kelsey Johnson, Baylor's newest recruit commit from 2022. Kelsey Johnson, tight end, because Baylor wants tight ends right now. Also, before we do Music Monday, Baylor hired a cornerback coach.
Yeah, how about it? Kevin Curtis from SMU. Another guy that played the position, or played in the secondary.
And he coached Brandon Crossley. Brandon Crossley was one of the best coverage guys in the country this past season. All right, Music Monday!
Big day.
Hey, all right, here's what we got going on. Music Monday, Armstrong's gonna play it. Nobody called, which we didn't plug that very well. We just ran out of time. There's a lot of stuff today. I'm sorry, Armstrong.
Maybe Kelsey Johnson will play.
You don't have to cry.
Highlight of my week.
No,
and you ruined it.
Woman, no cry. You know that song?
Bob Marley.
No,
woman, no cry. Did you know?
I'll put it in Music Monday next week.
Did you know it was Bob Marley? Or did you know that because of the voice? Because that would have been a lot cooler.
No, I mean I didn't know it was Bob Marley. I did.
Okay.
No woman.
Yeah.
No cry.
All right, get ready.
I'm ready.
Red day.
I told you I was ready.
I recognize that.
Slow dance, make a little romance. Honey, it'll be alright. Why you wanna hear me? It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. Trying to make a living and doing the best I can.
Easy.
Oh,
dude, Tim McGraw for 2 is the artist. That's all I got.
Why did you do that? The game is still going.
The game is still going. We still got another listen.
Tim McGraw's number 2.
We still got another listen.
Bet.
All right, you ready?
You got number 2 though, right?
Well, I actually.
You got it. You got it now.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to have it. We can play it again.
Here we go.
Man walks down the street, My mind's soft in the middle now.
Yeah, take a chance, slow dance, make a little romance. Honey, it'll be alright. Why you wanna hear me then? It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. Trying to make a living and doing the best I can.
What?
Drake's. He wanted to tune the rest of the songs out to try to focus on this one.
Yeah.
Dude, I have
He's
one
trying
point.
to think of the title. You have 1 point?
I have 1 point. Like, I'm horrific at Music Monday.
I think it's just our music tastes don't align at all. At all.
And mine aligns with everyone that's ever existed.
Yeah.
That's ever existed.
That's why they play it.
I don't know if I'm buying that quite as much.
Make a
I'm just
little
I'm
romance.
trying to make you feel better.
I appreciate that. I need that now and then.
Okay, well, anyone, what do we got for one?
Give me, what was do you have the years on there for when these songs are from? I would love to know what is the most recent song.
Oh, I think we got two.
They're all old.
What do you got?
Like,
'Cause Tim
was there
McGraw's
one
not
in
on there.
2007?
No.
Was that the like?
I
what's
didn't even
the
think about
newest
that.
one?
I probably should have thrown in like a one or two modern ones, but the newest one was probably like 90s.
Really? Okay.
Probably one of the country
All right.
songs.
Dude, that might be it.
You got anything?
If I don't have Tim McGraw, I don't have anything. No.
You don't have Tim McGraw. I'm sorry. Number one.
What do you got?
You can call me Al, Paul Simon.
Correct.
My roommate, that's the only song he knows. He doesn't do music. He knows one song and it's every word.
Well, it's a good
You
song
can
to
call
know.
me Al. Man walks down the street and said, why am I soft in the middle now?
Okay. Next
Are
song.
we going to get copyrighted?
For singing that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Next one is Be My Baby Tonight.
Yes.
By John Michael Montgomery.
Yes. No way. I thought that was the hard one.
I stood up to focus.
I've never even heard of that guy.
Gosh.
Focus.
Incredible.
3.
No way.
John Michael Montgomery. I pulled that
Nailed
out
it.
of nowhere.
Nailed it.
3, I have no idea because I gave up.
Okay.
4 is Glenn Campbell.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
5
I don't know the
points.
song. I don't know the song.
The song is Gentle on My Mind.
But I'm getting 7 points today because it's the Allman Brothers and they're singing Ramblin' Man.
Yes.
How about it, folks?
Wow.
I'm Drake Toll.
can't
That's J.D.
believe that.
Pickell. Armstrong Sims. It's a 7-piece today to 0. A goose egg. I shut you out.
None of these songs were even before you were born.
We'll be right back with Kelsey Johnson. This is Uptempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and company 77-66, thanks to Melissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road 92-87. Number 7 Virginia fell at Duke 66-65. Number 13 West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12 Texas 84-82. And number 23 Kansas won at home against number 15 Texas Tech 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend with wins against Washington State 4-3 and Washington also 4-3. While the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged a loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don's Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Monday, everybody. Coming off a big weekend in Baylor athletics. The women's basketball team getting a win, men's and women's tennis getting wins, baseball, softball, everybody getting on the action. And now Baylor football getting a win too, as they got a commitment from three-star tight end Kelsey Johnson Jr., who joins the show today. Kelsey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. We're happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Hey, 24 hours later, we're a day off, really, of you committing to Baylor and saying, hey, I'm going to be a Bear. Let me start simple. Why Baylor? What made this decision Baylor for you?
Man, for the most part, I've been liking Baylor since I was little, man. I've always loved Baylor. And I went on a visit their freshman year, and when I went, it was like, man, I was very impressed. Like, this is an amazing place. And in an academic standpoint, it's just, you can't ask for nothing better. It's very prestigious academically. And football, you got Coach Grimes, he's OC, and my tight end coach, which is a blessing for a tight end. And it's just, I feel a real genuine connection with everybody. It's a different vibe. When I talk to them on the phone, text, everything, I can feel that they really pumped up for me.
Kelsey Johnson, number 79 recruit in the state of Texas, a three-star tight end again from Red Oak. Kelsey, was it the facilities, the people, the atmosphere? What was it when you stepped on campus that stood out to you?
Really, it was the atmosphere and the people. It's like, as soon as I stepped into the facility, it was, oh, what's up, Kelsey, this, can't wait to show you around, this, it was just that energy there. And I feel I got the vibe that it was just it's a family universe, and the whole football program is just about family. They just don't care about you as a player, they care about you as a person, growing up as a man, what you're doing off the field. and everything is just, I feel like that's why their graduation rate is just so high, because everything is just family.
Now, tell me, Kelsey, when you were looking at these schools, too, you were recruited by some of the best schools, Power 5 schools in the country. When did you know? When did it just snap? Okay, Baylor's home.
Well, the night before Coach Grimes, Baylor offered me, Coach Grimes was talking to me. And when he was talking to me, I said to myself, man, if Baylor offer, they're going to be at the top of the list. It's going to be hard to beat them. Then over this 2-week span, just continually talking to them, it's like, I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, it's like 4 schools that I feel like close to offering me that I've been talking to, but I honestly don't feel like they're going to top Baylor. They're not. It's like Baylor still have them beat in almost every aspect, and they down the street, only an hour, 7 minutes away. So I'm like, it's just, I feel like this is home. I feel like it was just meant to be. It's a perfect fit for me. Couldn't pass it up.
Kelsey, when you broke the news to your family, too, what was their immediate reaction to know their son's going to Baylor University to play football?
Well, walk downstairs, I feel like I want to commit right now. Like tomorrow, I feel like telling them tonight I want to go to Baylor. Oh, my dad, oh, wow. My mama, okay, are you sure? I was like, yeah. And, they was just real happy about it. They called some family members, gave an inside scoop. But I think it was a different feeling once I let it out there at 1 p.m. Once I let it out there and let everybody know, that's when it was like, wow, he's actually going to Baylor. He's actually going to Baylor. He's actually close to home where we can see him. He can come see us anytime we want. And it's just, I feel like their immediate reaction when I walked downstairs after I posted it, I think I see my dad tearing up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I think that was excited, very excited.
Was it emotional for you, too, when you – well, really, before I get there, I want to start. When you put it out on Twitter, you said, hey, I'm committing tomorrow, 1 p.m., said it, I'm committing. When you put that out, was there a sense of peace knowing that, hey, I know where I'm going?
Yes, I say it was. It was a sense of peace. Now, I did think about the relationships I'd have built with other coaches, and it was like man, I'm really finna, let it go. But I'm like, at the same time, it's a business and this is where I want to be. And I do what it takes. I got to, just set them aside and focus on Baylor. I just got to focus on Baylor. And yeah, it's just, when you said how, was it like the emotion? It's like the whole day I was just, I don't know, just happy, just feeling, I don't know. It was just something inside of me that just wanted to, it's a couple of times you can feel it in my chest. I'm like, I just want to scream. I just want to scream sick 'em. Like, I just want to, that's how I felt. I was genuinely just really happy.
And then when you announced it, when you put it out to the world that I'm going to Baylor, was that emotional for you? What was the release when you finally said, this is it?
No, I was on the game. I was playing PlayStation with, I say about 12, 14 of my friends, about 14 of them. And they was like, you ready? You ready? I'm like, yeah. Some people, I say about 5, 6 of them was right. Guess Baylor, some people guess other schools. And when I released it, as soon as I pressed post, 'cause I had the draft and everything, right? I just pressed post. And it was like a deep breath. It was like, okay. 20 seconds in, retweet. People calling me. Well, let me just go set my phone aside. If one of the coaches call me, I'm going to answer. But as the people, like my friends, family, I'm going to let everything die down first before I start reaching out to people. Then next, in my head, so all I hear is, yeah, get hyped and everything. Yeah. I knew it. Some people, it was just, I don't know. It was like, if I could relive that moment, that feeling back over and over again, I'll do it. Because it was just, I never felt nothing like that before.
What did you hear? What were some of the favorite things that people were tweeting at you or calling you and saying to you that you thought, wow, that just made it real?
When I'm gonna say when I probably talked to my uncle. When I talked to my uncle, he was like, "Yeah, man, you know this. I'm really proud of you. I remember when you was just a little boy, you pushed the boy 50 yards down the field, and he was like, man, that boy gonna be something, you know." And all this, he said he actually loved how, even though I'm going to Baylor and I was getting offers and this, I was still myself. Like, I never got out of character. I never, you know, bragged about it. I was just real humble about everything. And he said, when you get down there, he was telling me, yeah, he said, I want you to excel in football, this and this. He said, I'll love it before you go to the league. He said, I'll love it. He said, but as long as you get that education, you know, that's what's most important to me. Especially since he said, because he on the older, and he said, I wish I could always go back and get my education because he never did that. So, you know, them type of calls with family members really, you know, made it feel real. Especially, you know, my friends I've been with since I was like 4 or 5, maybe 6, saying, remember we talked about going to this college and all of that? And I'd be like, yep. You know, just different stuff like that just made it feel unreal.
Look, Kelsey, you talked about the education and what that means to you and Baylor being a prestigious academic school. Walk me through how much it means to you for Baylor to put academics first.
Well, I was raised to academics first, academics. So I wanted to go to a school because I feel like me personally, I can excel anywhere in academics. But I wanted to go to a school where, you know, you show them that degree and it say that university and it's like, oh, okay, you know, and I feel like Baylor is one of the schools it's a private school. I get a degree from there. I'm showing, you know, I want a job or something in my career. And I showed them, it's like a light bulb gonna switch off. Oh yeah, he went to Baylor. You know, I want that for myself, and I feel like Baylor will prepare me, you know, for the future. Being a man, you know, in my career, I feel like that'll just really, you know, help me become who I want to be.
Look, Kelsey, when you told the Baylor coaching staff that it recruited you, you said, I'm coming, I'm going to be there and be a Bear. What was their reaction?
I talked to Coach Aranda, and I told him first, I said, well, you have a 2022 tight end commit. And he was pumped up. But who was pumped up the most was Coach Blanchard. I put everybody in the group chat, and I said, I made my decision. I ain't even said where yet. I ain't said if I was going there. I said if I was going to another school. But they just all automatically, yeah, no, let's go. This. No, happy. And I'm like, I didn't even say I was going to Baylor. I could be going somewhere else. So Coach Blanchard called me immediately. Like, as soon as I pressed send, he called me immediately. Tell me something good, man. Tell me something good. I told him I was going to go to Memphis. I was like, trying to see what he going to say. He was like, oh, man, for real? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, I ain't mad at you, you know, this and this. He said, I hope the best for you and all this. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, down. And I was like, no, I'm just playing. I said, no, I'm going to go to Baylor. He said, huh? For real? What? Got all his kids. Say hey, he just committed to Baylor, you know. And then just hype. Then I was like, I'm going to do the same thing to the whole group chat. So I said, wait. I didn't see where I was going yet. I'm going to go to Memphis. You know, they send a little gifs and stuff of them body slamming me, of Hulk mad, you know, different stuff like that. And I was saying, and I was like, nah, I ain't gonna play with them emotions like that. I ain't gonna do that. I was like, I'm gonna go say it. So when I said it, you know, then, you know, that was extra hype. You know, they was calling me and everything, talking about it. And I already talked to Coach Grimes about it, but I said I was gonna probably hit him back Sunday to see if if I was going to wait a little longer or don't commit. But I ended up doing it that night. So it was like, they was hype.
You pulled a fast one on the entire Baylor coaching staff? Wow.
Yeah, I was trying to see their reaction.
Oh, my goodness. Well, look, I'm sure they were extra excited after that, after thinking you weren't going to play for Baylor. Wow, I can't believe that. When they called you, though, and especially Coach Grimes, I mean, what was their message to you? Were they just excited, or was it really, could you feel how genuine they cared that you were coming?
Yeah, I felt, even when I talked to him earlier that day, I knew that he wanted me there, this and this. And when I did tell him, he called me, he was like, well, let's get to work, he was just talking to me. Yeah, man, I really think, we'll usually say, yeah, man, I really think you're a perfect fit. I feel like you made a real good decision to come to Baylor. And Coach Blanchard, he even told me, he was like, yeah, he said, I promise you. He's like, you won't regret your decision. He said, we're going to take care of you, this and this, which I really believe, because from past people I know, like Byron Hanspar, and different, I even have a cousin that went to Baylor. They genuinely care about their people. They take care of them no matter what. So, yeah, I really felt that they was happy. And a little, no such thing as being too excited, but a little too excited. Yeah.
With that, not only the coaches, but a couple other guys in the 2022 class, Baylor's only got 4 commitments so far, but do you know any of those other guys that have already said, hey, I'm coming to Baylor? Are you familiar with them?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to knowing Colton Price, because I seen, because I got a Twitter notification saying that I should follow him because Baylor coaches follow him. And I was like, oh, they must be interested in this guy. The next thing I look, I'm like, wait, he committed already? And actually, when I did commit, what's his name? When I did commit, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I don't want to just say it, but I think it was the first Baylor commit. He committed back May 2nd, May 5th last year. And he texted me, he was like, yo, you committed? I said, yeah. So we chopped it up and everything. I asked him why he chose Baylor so early. If it's something special, he told me about his story, so we chopped it up a little bit. But yeah, and I'm trying to bring some more folks on board,
Hey, they're plenty welcome. I'll tell you that. You can go ahead and bring however many you want. I'm sure Baylor coaches won't complain at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring as many people I want.
Well, what do you know, Kelsey, about Jeff Grimes' scheme and the way that he uses tight ends? We're familiar with him wanting to use tight ends a lot in the offense. Is that where you expect to be at Baylor?
Yeah, I expect that. Like, even I talked to the O-line coach. He was showing me the blocking scheme, like the run scheme they're going to run. And when I was watching that, I said, yeah, that's a lot similar to what I do in high school. And I enjoy doing that type of stuff. So I like the run scheme as well, because, blocking is a big part of being a tight end, not just receiving. But even receiving-wise, I watched, Isaac Rex. I watched, I forgot his name, but the other All-American tight end that got injured before Isaac Rex at BYU. I watched how I was watching stuff now, and I was doing my research, and I was saying, yeah, I like how they get their people the ball. And I feel like he bring that to Baylor. If you have better athletes, I feel like you can do more and get more creative with a lot of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I really trust in what they're going to have built for me when I get there.
And then, Kelsey, coming to Baylor, making this decision, everything all put together, if you could just sum it all up into one word, what would that be?
Trying to think of a big word. Now, how I feel, I'm gonna have to use ecstatic, I'm gonna say, but about the whole thing, I can't think of a word right now. I'm gonna say extravagant.
I love it. That's a perfect way to sum it up. And then, Kelsey, before we get you out of here, we play Bear games every day on this show where we just take sports away for a second and ask crazy questions. Today's Bear games questions of the day. I'll start with this. If you could wrestle one large animal in a fight to the death, you've got to kill this animal. Which one are you taking down bare hands only?
Bare hands?
Bare hands.
An animal. I ain't saying no like no dog or nothing. I don't want to do that. I want a challenge. So I'm probably go. Let's see. Nah, I feel like I'll beat an alligator because they ain't got no hands.
Yeah, you can say alligator though. Yes, you can take. That is the best answer we've had today.
I ain't gonna say alligator. Like my bare hands.
Bare hands.
Because I know they strong, but it's like I feel like I get a control of not they snout, but they mouth. Right. I can do a little something. So I'm gonna say bare hands. I'm either going underwater and fighting a shark.
Wow.
or I'm gonna fight. Ooh, no. I just thought of something. I was gonna say like a lion or something.
Right.
But I might want to fight if not like an ape or something, they'll hit you back. They'll hit you back.
This is true.
And a kangaroo will hit you back too.
I said kangaroo.
Yeah. I think a kangaroo gonna be fun.
Listen, are you locking in kangaroo?
Ooh, I don't know. I'll do that or like a ape or something, or a gorilla. Nah, a gorilla not gonna be fun. They might be a little. I don't know.
Kelsey?
Gorilla or kangaroo? I'm going to let you down. I'm going to say gorilla.
Oh, my gosh. All right. If Kelsey Johnson is in a fight with a gorilla, you better help that gorilla. Kelsey Johnson Jr., thanks for joining Up Tempo today.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Again, Kelsey Johnson Jr., 3-star tight end out of Red Oak, Texas. Pulled a fast one on the Baylor coaching staff. Said he was going to Memphis, but no, he's going to be a Bear. That guy, one of the best tight ends out there in the state of Texas, and the number 79 recruit in the state as well in the 2022 class. We'll break that down and him down with Grayson Grunthafer tomorrow on the big board. Again, that was Kelsey Johnson Jr. joining us, Baylor commit from Red Oak, Texas. When we come back, we got a couple more guests coming up today, talking more Baylor men's and women's basketball, breaking things down across the country. I'm Drake Toll, that's Armstrong Sims, and this is Up Tempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and company 77-66, thanks to Melissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road 92-87. Number 7 Virginia fell at Duke 66-65. Number 13 West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12 Texas 84-82. And number 23 Kansas won at home against number 15 Texas Tech 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend with wins against Washington State 4-3 and Washington also 4-3. While the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged a loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It is Up Tempo today on your Monday, breaking down things across Baylor athletics from the weekend. Baseball split, softball split, men's tennis a sweep, women's tennis a sweep, and then women's basketball a 77-66 win over Oklahoma on the road thanks to Dejanay Carrington. On the men's basketball side, while there wasn't any action this weekend on the court, off the court, Scott Drew and SID David K joined Ted Harrison, a Baylor grad who now works at Twitter. Yes, that Twitter, the Twitter, on one of the coolest new features that the app has to offer, the social media website network has to offer. Ted, welcome on the show.
Thanks, Drake. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So Ted, walk me through first and foremost what exactly it is that you guys use the Twitter function to talk to Scott and David live on the Twitter sphere.
Yeah, so we just recently rolled out at Twitter. We're in beta for Twitter Spaces. It was actually funny. I had just gotten access to it the day before, and I reached out to David K. and was like, hey, would Coach Drew be interested in testing this out? And at the time, I wasn't sure, but at this point, I'm pretty much confident, 99% certainty. He's the first coach pretty much at any level to take any kind of interview on Twitter Spaces. And it was cool to utilize a new function, hear people's voices, the voices behind the tweets, basically.
So walk me through exactly for the folks that weren't able to get on or aren't not familiar, with exactly what Twitter Spaces is. What is the function and kind of how new is it to Twitter?
Yeah, so we've rolled it out this year in beta, and we're definitely building it out, learning as we kind of roll it out, which is actually pretty cool. Essentially what it is it's an audio room where you can join in at any time. There's going to be a host who starts the room, kind of sets the topic of discussion, or maybe does an interview like I did with Coach Drew and David K. And so it's basically just a place where people can like pop in and hear real-time audio, hear real-time conversations. I'm probably going to even like host maybe a couple during like half times of a couple of upcoming Baylor basketball games, just to kind of have that more intimate conversation or more access readily available to a broader audience. So, the other cool functionality is you can bring other people on to speak. I could have brought more people on to ask questions, but wanted to keep it tight since I only had Coach Drew for 15 minutes.
Tell me too, Ted, what is the long-term outlook with the feature too? I know you said that people can come on and ask questions. Is this like you could have a fan Q&A through this, or what's the goal overall, even past sports?
Yeah, I think when you look at it overall, it depends on, I think you can find it in any niche. Like you're going to find a reason to use this. The big thing right now that we see, even coming out of that conversation, like I get to give feedback directly to the product team, because David actually had said, like, this would be great for like press availability after a game. And those are the types of things where actually that's part of the reason it's in beta, is to understand where it can be utilized. And some other use cases are just like, you could have a notable figure come in and just like hear from them, or drop in to have an inane, like just an inane conversation, something that doesn't really matter. But also you could have like a very pointed, directed conversation. I know I've seen some stuff about like, I'm a video person, so like some conversations around video and like what some best tips and tricks for that. Maybe like a big event is happening and people want to have that live conversation. I mean, you can see Drake maybe even in the future, it as an alternate place to, if you get tired of Dick Vitale, commentating during the game, you might be able to turn on Twitter Spaces and get some people that from Twitter commentating on the game.
So, Ted, as you started to figure out, all right, I've got access to this feature. It's still in beta. There are some things to work out with it, but I want to try it. When did the idea pop into your head that, all right, I'm going to try it out with Scott Drew?
Well, so I had already thought about when I got it that I wanted to host a room to talk about Baylor sports. I'd seen a lot of people get in those things to start, some people internally that are on the team, and they just start talking about the product itself. And I was like, I want to get in and talk about something different. Let's like talk about something that people really would use this product for. And so I got in the Twitter Spaces and was like looking at it, and I was like, it'd be really cool to do an interview as a way to like kind of kickstart like this being a thing. And I happened, just because I've done video work going back a long time for Baylor sports, making hype videos and stuff as a fan. I've developed a relationship with the teams at Baylor, and so reached out to David, and he was very much on board and found some time with Coach Drew. He said, "Is tomorrow okay?" And I was like, "Why not?"
Wow. Well, that was quick turnaround for you guys, I'm sure, to have Scott on the show. And then one of the things I wanted to break down from the show before we really talk about Scott is having David on there, and David actually talked for a little bit, and you guys going back and forth. We don't get to see a lot of that with him being an SID. You hear him on some basketball games and here and there on ESPN Plus or IMG Radio, but folks don't necessarily get to see the inside Q&A with David K. It was really cool to hear that, and I want to know from your end what that was like for you to have DK on.
Yeah, it was awesome. First of all, David does a great job. I think you can just look at the fan engagement even the fact that like this show exists, I think in some ways can be a testament to what that team has done to help increase the engagement, across the board. SicEm365, I know, has really leaned into a lot of the people internally to be able to give that kind of exclusive access. I think that the more you open up windows and avenues, as you look at this from a Twitter product perspective or even from Baylor's perspective, the more you open up these different like avenues of access, the more you start spotlighting people who do the work. I like to quote often that strategy is a commodity, but execution is art. And I think a lot of people will continue to discover, like, I want to know the people who are executing, not the people who are just talking about what happened afterwards. So I think that, like, it was interesting to get to talk to David. It was cool to hear his perspective, going back to even the Heisman campaign. He was going through how they got RG3 in the forefront of that campaign, going back to 2011. It just is interesting to get that insight, because otherwise, where would you have gotten that before?
Not only with David, too, but with Scott Drew. Having Scott on, walk me through being able to interview him and really what that meant to you. I'm sure you and Scott have interacted before, I would assume, but to have him on and in this feature, what that was like for you in that one-on-one format.
Yeah, it was great to talk to him and just hear, first of all, Coach Drew, Scott Drew is always Scott Drew. Yeah. I got told I needed to ask if he's really more like, if he's actually the real life Ted Lasso. I don't know if you've watched the show, but he could definitely act a bit like that, and just always upbeat, very spirited. And I think the cool thing about it was we got some real answers, and I think it was fun to have a conversation. I hope it was fun for him to have a conversation with someone who's been a fan of this team for going back to when I went to Baylor in 2008. So you just get to see, like, I have a lot of intimate, like, details that I remember that he probably does as well, because he's so close to it, rather than having like a national media outlet come and ask questions, that may not be that specific or so fan centric.
With this feature and what it's done for sports, or what it could do for sports, I should say, and what you've done with it so far in sports in your very first Twitter space with Scott Drew, what's the next big plan? Have you already called Kyle Robarts to get Kim Mulkey on tomorrow?
Yeah, I've been told that I need to make that happen. I mean, I'm open to it. If there's more opportunity to interview some people on it at Baylor, I'm happy to do that. It's a cool way to test it, learn for both our product team and hopefully for the future of what access can look like for a number of different people. The other thing too is I know I've already had a couple of friends and some other people reach out about maybe making that a consistent thing with other coaches across different universities or other leagues. And I think that that's something to be really interesting to see where this goes afterwards. I don't know if I'm necessarily the one qualified to be doing all the interviews, because I definitely know Baylor pretty well, but I don't know everything else.
Speaking of Ted, I'm sorry, we just had Matt on. Speaking of Ted, being a Baylor grad and a Baylor fan through and through, now your role at Twitter, do those play together ever? Is there ever a crossover between your being a Baylor alumni and now you working at Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, I first of all, I think that I've been on part of the, quote unquote Baylor Twitter for a long time and been tweeting before I even worked there. I do think it kind of set me up, honestly, well to take the role that I have now, in a sense that I actually used the platform and understood it, was able to kind of like talk about, ways in which video could be improved, and what I do is work in video ad stuff. So, I've been able to, I've had Coach Rule at the office before when he was the head coach at Baylor. And so it's opened up a unique series of opportunities, both at Baylor and at Twitter. And of course, as an alum, you want to be able to give back in a way. And I'm not Drayden McClain, so I can't give back in too much in the cash department, but I can do some small things just to test out new features that we have on the platform, and hopefully keep Baylor relevant and keep myself relevant to a certain extent, and keep up to date with all the latest and greatest.
Well, Ted, being an employee at Twitter and working with Baylor, working on the cutting edge of new in social media, not just social media, but video, website content, things like that. Tell me, what's next for you, and then maybe a little bit of insight of what's next for you at Twitter.
Yeah, well, I think that, for what I do is, I do a lot of, I oversee a team globally on our production team that helps recreate and rethink ads that people are running on Twitter. So that, whether it's all the way up to Apple, to Buffalo Wild Wings, to Macy's, to whoever else you can think of, a big brand, we work with them. And we do everything from like consulting and kind of teaching, as well as like actually doing the production. So I think that you'll continue to see that expand. I'm currently working on getting some roles over in Japan and other places. So continuing to expand that. That's what's up for me as part of the Twitter Art House team. And I think that the future, when you just look at Twitter this year, we've got a number. Our most recent earnings call, we kind of divulged a lot of this. We've got a lot of new products, the features, like Twitter Spaces coming out. So there's a lot more to come. I've seen a lot already, and I'm very excited about it. And I think it will continue to do great things for things, honestly, even like this show, and for Baylor fans in general.
And then not Ted Harrison, the Twitter guy, but Ted Harrison, the Baylor alumni and Bears fan. What's next for you? Have you been down to catch any games this year? Do you get down pretty frequently?
No, I haven't with COVID. So I've lived in New York for like the last 7 to 8 years, and then just this last fall moved to Denver. So I definitely plan to get down there more frequently. I'm a bit disappointed. I had tickets to go watch Baylor play football this last fall, and then was planning to do something for basketball this year as well. But everything's been COVID restricted, so it's been harder for me to justify getting down. But I want to. I'm still trying to figure out how to maybe figure out a way to get into the bubble in Indianapolis whenever that gets started up.
Look, I'm sure if this Twitter Spaces thing takes off like it should, that you can get in the Indianapolis bubble specifically for this and just, I'm sports media. I interviewed Scott Drew. Exactly. You just flash a Twitter credential and they'll know.
Yeah, I'll flash the Twitter and the Scott Drew credential.
That's one of the first things that I learned in sports media is like, listen, if you act like you're supposed to be there, they'll think you're supposed to be there 9 times out of 10. I think, Ted, I'm not sure how much they'll be locked down, but I'm sure I could see you there in the bubble.
I would love it. I'll talk to our sports team because I know that they've got some ins.
Oh, they've got to. Let me ask you this. Before we let you go, Ted, Bear Games questions of the day today. So on this show, we, like every guest and caller we bring on, we like to ask them something outside of sports because typically the conversation stays in sports. Today's Bear Games question of the day, there's a couple of them. First one being, if you had to wrestle a large animal for the sake of your life, this is a fight to the death, bare hands with a large animal, what animal are you going against?
Okay, let me think through this. What's like the smallest of the large animals? What qualifies? Am I supposed to ask those kind of questions?
I took it right. It's tough to ask those questions because it's so subjective. Like someone could be like, I would wrestle a large tortoise, and I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't fight that. I wouldn't. Take somebody off of that. We have heard. I said kangaroo. We've heard gorilla, which I feel like is a stretch. We've heard lion. Some people they're a little bit. It's how you find out who's a narcissist and who's not. When someone says they could beat a lion in hand-to-hand combat. But I said kangaroo, if that says anything about me, Ted, if that gives you some direction.
Yeah, no, I think I just watched a video of some guy who parachuted down and then got attacked by a kangaroo that actually happened this morning. So I don't think I'm going to pick kangaroo because he threw a nasty punch. I'll have to find a video clip and maybe tweet it at you. But I think I probably, if I can kind of, I guess make my own setting, I'd like to be against a rhino in somewhere where there's like a lot of trees.
Wow.
Because then I can get behind them and it can't charge me too much. I can wear it out and then over time figure out how to take it down.
Yeah. What's your step one barehanded to take out a rhino? How are you going to choke it?
I think I just getting it to exhaustion if it's going to keep attacking me. That's my only goal, is just to wear it out. I'm like Floyd Mayweather, I guess. That's the goal.
Effectively. Look, okay, so I was making fun of other people for saying lion, and now Ted Harrison's comparing himself to Floyd Mayweather. Come on, man. Come on. How about this, too? We've got Bear Games questions. I guess this is a bracket we're putting together. It's the Big 12 mascot madness, and it's if every Big 12 mascot took on real-life form, who would win in a cage fight? And today's matchup, one-on-one, a cowboy and a longhorn. That's the first one of the day. Who wins that one? And yes, the cowboy is armed.
Yeah, the cowboy wins easy. I don't think that first of all, I think you, in my opinion, no matter what you put up against it, I'd find a way for even the frog to destroy the longhorn at this point because it's just not a big fan. So I would find a way to reason it. But I think it's pretty obvious that the cowboy would. I also, Pistol Pete himself is kind of, I don't know. He's pretty sketchy and suspect.
Pistol Pete is one of those mascots that at first glance you're like, you know what? That's a pretty cool little vintage mascot. And the harder you look, you're like, that's a little bit weird than it was at first. Just the caricature as a whole is just a little bit much for me. But the second one we got today is a Sooner and a Wildcat. And again, the Sooner is armed, but it's a pretty nice-sized Wildcat.
I have to imagine a Wildcat took down an actual Sooner while they were trying to hide when that event occurred in the Oklahoma Run. I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm very familiar with the land run. And I'm going to assume that at least once the Wildcat takes a W.
I will take that. Somebody else said Wildcat today, and I concur. I think the Sooners got a gun, yes, but it's a big enough Wildcat. The Sooners not intimidating whatsoever. It's got a little bonnet on, and it's got a gun, but it's it takes him a while to load it, and it's in the back of his schooner. I like that call,
Yeah.
Ted Harrison.
It's too busy focused on trying to seem innocent, so there's not enough time to really get aggressive.
Little Prairie Sooner. There's no way he's taking out a wild cat. Ted Harrison from Twitter, joined by Scott Drew earlier this week, breaking down Twitter Spaces, a new feature on the app. And man, look, I was scrolling through some of your content and the stuff you're putting out, and it's a lot of really awesome stuff and a lot of fun stuff. Those that don't already follow Ted Harrison on Twitter, it's very much worth it. Thanks for all that you're doing for the content world. It's really cool stuff.
Thanks, Drake, and keep it up yourself. It's fun checking in on what you guys are doing every day, and I appreciate you letting me come on.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Ted Harrison, joining us from Twitter. Again, him, Scott Drew, and David K joined one another the other day on Twitter Spaces, which is a new feature like he was talking about where you can break things down with folks one-on-one even if you want. You can add them. It's like a group call, but on Twitter. So you can just hop in, listen to Scott Drew and Ted chat. And David K was there too for it, which is really flipping awesome. Ted Harrison, a Baylor grad that works at Twitter. Man, Baylor folks are doing big things, right, Armstrong? Armstrong's giving me a nod right now. I got what do you got today? Chipotle? Yeah, Armstrong forgot his lunch today, so he had to order Chipotle.
I prepared it and everything.
Did you really?
And then I left it sitting there.
Meal prep guy?
I'm not a big meal prep guy now, but I do have to prepare my lunches because I have 1 hour lunch break in between the two shows, and it's not really a break. It's more of just prep for the next show, right?
Right.
So I have to prep my lunches and bring those.
And then when do you eat?
When do I eat? At 2.
Oh, okay. You eat between shows?
Usually, except for...
Because you tweet during this show.
Except for right now, I just ate during that interview.
Oh, wow. Thanks for giving the folks at home an inside look on that, Armstrong.
They need to know.
Okay, so we got Morgan Uber that joins us at 12:05 today. We're gonna break through a lot of this stuff that's in the group chat here in a little bit, actually. But over the weekend, Baylor men's basketball did not play. Men's baseball did play. I was going with baseball. I don't know why I said men's. Baylor baseball played. They beat UT Rio Grande Valley 12-7 in Game 1. Then they fell to UT Rio Grande Valley in Game 2. They had an 8-0 lead, and that thing just dissipated pretty quickly as UT Rio Grande Valley got the best of the Bears in a final score of 9-7 in Sunday's bout. So those two teams play again today. That is at 1 p.m. So in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes now, Baylor baseball will have a game squaring off against, it's game day, UT Rio Grande Valley. On the softball side, a 7-2 loss to Arkansas. That one, 7-2 loss to Arkansas on Sunday, and then a doubleheader. They played McNeese State that afternoon, and they fell in that one as well. Or they won 3-2. I'm checking these baseball scores, trying to get prepared for this UT Rio Grande Valley game here in a second. And then Kevin Curtis, hired as the cornerbacks coach at Baylor, and other big news is going on across the university. SMU's Kevin Curtis, to be exact. Curtis has been a coach for 13 years. He was under Dave Aranda, played football at Texas Tech for Coach Aranda in the early 2000s. And not only that, he coached Brandon Crossley, who was one of the very best corners in the entire country last season. SMU last year had 21 takeaways. Or in 2019, he helped the unit 21 takeaways, ranking 4th in their conference. Mentored transfer running back, turned defensive back. Stevens, who started all 13 games for the Mustangs, finished second in the league with 12 pass breakups. Armani Johnson had a breakout season, finishing third with 11 pass breakups. And then Curtis now coming to Baylor as the BU cornerbacks coach. Brandon Curtis again from SMU. Also men's and women's tennis. The men's team with 2 wins, 7-0 sweeps over Trinity College. The women's team, a win over Washington and a win over Washington State up north. So a big weekend in Baylor sports, and they only get bigger. How about this? Look at the composite schedule across the next week. So today, February 22nd, we've got men's golf at the Border Olympics, women's golf at the Icon Invitational. Men's are in Laredo, Texas. The women's are in the Woodlands, Texas. Baseball, UT Rio Grande Valley. Again, that is at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, men's basketball, Iowa State. Men's and women's golf are playing as well. Wednesday, women's basketball, Oklahoma State in Waco. Men's tennis versus UT Arlington. And the softball team, they're in action, their home opener on Wednesday against UT Arlington. February 25th, that is Thursday. Men's basketball is at home against West Virginia. Women's tennis is against Tyler Junior College. Then on Friday, folks, sports are back. Things get crazy Friday with track, Big 12 indoor championships, equestrian versus Oklahoma State. It's the number 2 team in the country, Oklahoma State. Equestrian number 7. Softball versus UConn. Softball versus Ole Miss at 6 p.m. Friday. Baseball versus Texas A&M in Round Rock. Volleyball versus North Texas. Volleyball opens their season this weekend. Men's basketball at Kansas on Saturday. Men's basketball at Kansas. Folks, this is nuts. Track in the Big 12 Indoor Championship. Equestrians at TCU. Women's basketball at Kansas State. Baseball versus 23 Auburn. Softball versus Lamar. Softball versus UConn. Soccer opens their season against Texas A&M. Acro and tumbling opens their season against Mary Hardin Baylor. And then don't give up on it. Sunday, you come on back. Softball versus Mississippi State. Baseball versus number 23 Oklahoma in Round Rock. Volleyball versus Pepperdine. Folks, what a time. This whole week is going to be insane in Baylor athletics. It's going to be flipping awesome. It's back. COVID has hindered a lot. The weather hindered a lot in the last few days, but almost everybody here in the spring is coming back within the next week, and we'll have all the action broken down at Up-Tempo. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Morgan Uber, Big 12 correspondent. She's going to come on and talk about the games that are going on this week, including Baylor, Iowa State Tuesday, Baylor, West Virginia Thursday, and then Baylor and Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse on Saturday, and then a little bit on the women's basketball side as well. I'm Drake Toll, that's Armstrong Sims, and this is Up-Tempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and Company 77-66, thanks to Melissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road, 92-87. Number 7 Virginia fell at Duke, 66-65. Number 13 West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12 Texas, 84-82. And number 23 Kansas won at home against number 15 Texas Tech, 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend, with wins against Washington State 4-3, and Washington also 4-3. While the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged the loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up-Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Arturo Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back to the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims. It is Monday, breaking things down across basketball in the Big 12. As always, Morgan Uber, Big 12 correspondent, joining us. Morgan, happy Monday, where it is 70 degrees in Waco, Texas.
Can you believe it? I mean, this is Texas weather for you. Here we are last week at this time trying to survive the single-digit temps. Felt like negative in wind chill and, yeah, getting to enjoy a beautiful day here as well up in Dallas, Texas. So I'll take it.
It is unbelievable the change that I guess 7 days ago, I think if we counted it, so 75 degrees today, it's pretty warm. And then 7 days ago, the wind chill was at -18, -19, and now the snow is all gone, the sun is out, and you never would have known.
No, and now it's baseball season, right? Came just in time. Opening weekend, opening day just happened. So great to have the warmer temperatures. And it's also, a great week because we have Baylor men's basketball back in action, something that I know you're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, and all the fans listening just cannot wait to have the Bears back out on the floor.
Oh my gosh, you said the B word, baseball. I did not know I was that big of a baseball fan until we got right up here on it. Growing up in Arkansas, that it's a baseball school. And so I'll actually be in Dallas tonight, Arkansas TCU tonight at Globe Life Park. So I'm excited. Baylor baseball is playing right now to baseball season. But again, like you said, exponentially more excited because Baylor men's basketball is back. And let's start right there then. This team, somebody asked today, they said, would you be, how much pity do you have on the first team that Baylor plays coming back, Iowa State? And we said, not very much, considering you just don't know what you'll get with Baylor here tomorrow night.
I think that's exactly right. And I was listening in last week when y'all had Baylor AD Mac Rhodes on the show, and he talked about, it was more players and more staff than not that were affected. So certainly it reminded him of what the football program went through earlier in the fall. So it's definitely, I think, none of us have really any clue exactly the severity and the physical condition that the toll really took on these guys that had it. So who knows the kind of basketball shape they're going to be in. But, I guess if you had to play a certain team coming back into this conference, Iowa State, though, they did give Oklahoma a pretty tough game this weekend. So, hoping that everyone's back to strength and really looking forward to having them out there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quickly they're going to get back to the level that they were playing at the last time we saw them out there, February 2nd, hard to believe, against Texas there in Austin.
Yeah, and like you said, Baylor doesn't know exactly what they're looking at. I say that. I'm sure Baylor does, but we as even analysts and fans don't exactly know what Baylor will have out there or if they'll be fully staffed player-wise. But it's a team that they were playing so well, clicking on so many cylinders. You look back at the Texas win and even dating before that, the Kansas win at home, where Baylor just looked dominant. Like there was nobody that could stop them. From what you've seen with teams that have battled with COVID, that have come back off of COVID stints, does it seem like a lot of those squads are losing a step a bit, or have you seen maybe some normalcy?
Right out of the gate, I think we have to be a little bit concerned, especially in this first game. And I guess, for Baylor, they do have 3 games that they're going to get to play this week here, and then potentially, a few games next week with the week scheduled where there are no games right now, but it's the week before the tournament. So that game the conference was using to make up games. So really it is going to be nice for Baylor because I do think it's going to take them a couple games to get back into that, physical connectedness that we saw from them. A lot of these teams, like we saw with Texas earlier this season, 3 of their key players came down with COVID and it took them a little bit to get right. And again, we don't know who and how many players have dealt with this for Baylor. So like you mentioned, we don't know who's going to be out on the court tomorrow night. I think of, individual players. Brady Manick is one that's top of mind. I mean, he was the first to say, COVID, it knocked me on my butt. And it took him really, I would say, a week and a half to 2 weeks to get back to, the level he was playing at. And it's hard to think, now he's playing in a little bit of a different role because the team, figured out some different things offensively without him. So it's a lot different, for Baylor, where they had, more players than not. When I heard that, I was like, well, I guess they did have 6 games postponed, so it shouldn't have come as a surprise, but it was a little bit of an initial shock when I heard that. So I do think it's going to take Baylor a little bit to get right, but should be just in time before the Big 12 tournament. And then, of course, before the NCAA tournament, where it's one and done. No mistakes. You can't mess up there. So if they do have to shake off a little bit of rust, certainly this week is the time to do it.
Without a doubt. I definitely, we consider Iowa State, too, with that being the first game back, to be a bit of a blessing. While they're still sneaky, and you and I talked about it last week, that we thought maybe they could have snuck up on Kansas, that, okay, at least it's not game 1 against West Virginia or game 1, in Lubbock or anything like that. But moving a little bit away from Baylor and into the rest of the Big 12 this week, tonight's lone game in conference, number 18 Texas Tech against Oklahoma State on the road. Tech just fell at Kansas. This is a game, though, now that they've lost two straight, I should say, to West Virginia and Kansas. It's a game, though, that I see Tech getting some revenge on a Monday night where they win it in Stillwater. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing when I was taking a look at this game, the thing that's crazy to me is these two teams, Drake, are playing for 6th and 7th place right now in the Big 12 standings. Two really extremely talented teams. Texas Tech, just, a week or two ago, they were playing for 2nd or 3rd up there in the conference. So they're number 14 in the net rankings. But yeah, it's like here they are playing for the 6th or 7th best spot in the standings. So, the first thing that I think of is TJ Shannon. He did not look right. Certainly, I know Coach Beard has talked about him struggling with some foot or ankle issues. So for Texas Tech, they really have to have everyone firing on all cylinders. They're a team that, they really have to have that scoring depth. Mac McClung, he can't do it all. So Shannon has to get right. And then, looking across to Oklahoma State, there's another player, too, that's been dealing with an ankle injury, Isaac Likely, although he's had a little bit of a different situation because he's actually gotten to rest and take time off over the past week and a half. So, for Oklahoma State, if they can pick up this win, this will certainly, I do think at this point they've done enough to get into the NCAA tournament, but this would be, again, a huge resume boost for them. So, the Cowboys are looking to win this game, and they've got one of the best players in the nation, Cade Cunningham, that can put the team on his back and take care of business. So I think it's going to be a great battle on Big Monday between, two really good teams in the Big 12, but somehow find themselves at the, bottom half of the standings, which is crazy to think.
From Big Monday to Super Tuesday, we'll start where we really already started. Iowa State at number 2 Baylor. Game in the Farrell Center. The Bears back in action, 17-0 this season against Iowa State, who's 2-16. But really, I still don't think the Cyclones can be overlooked. They've got some firepower.
They do. You have to give them a lot of credit from what we saw on Saturday against Oklahoma, who right now is the second best team in the conference. It's a question that we've all been trying to answer this season, but right now the Sooners are holding that spot. The Cyclones, they came out pretty slow, got down by 21, but somehow battled back, and they ended up taking the lead there for a little bit in the second half. I think they did do a better job of getting the ball inside to Solomon Young. But Rozier Bolton, he can't do it all. He's the engine for this offense, but really I think they just don't have the depth there for scoring. But again, it comes down to the biggest mystery of this week. Nobody knows what Baylor's going to look like. So could the Cyclones give them a challenge? I don't know. It's hard for any of us to answer that question right now. But, certainly I think from what we've seen from teams battling COVID or even just coming off of a COVID pause or even weather-related pauses is just the rust and a little bit of, we saw that with Texas Tech on Saturday against Kansas, not having played a midweek game, they looked a little slow. So I expect Baylor to come out maybe a little bit slower, but, the way that they're able to take it into a different gear, I think, they'll be able to get it done, but, we'll find out.
Looking past that, the other Tuesday night game that really stands out to me, number 17 Kansas at number 14 Texas. Kansas is playing really, really good basketball right now. And Texas, you saw some infighting in their game on Saturday. They've now dropped 3 out of their last 5 coming off of their COVID stint. Kansas has won 5 in a row. Did the Jayhawks stay hot?
Well, if you think back to the last time these two teams played, it was Kansas's only loss at home and a blowout loss to the Texas Longhorns. So I think this is a bit of a revenge game for Kansas. I think they probably have, a bad taste in their mouth getting blown off of their home court, which we never see that happen. One loss just this season at home. And At the same scope, though, Texas is looking to bounce back from, a really bitter loss just lately, to West Virginia. So I think this is going to be a great game with a lot of stakes on the line for both teams. Hard to say exactly who's going to come out on top. I think David McCormick, though, the way that he's playing, he's continuing to improve. The first 10 games of the season only averaging 9 points and now averaging about 15 points a game over the last 14 games or so. I think, the battle low is going to be really interesting. Jericho Sims, Greg Brown, and David McCormick for Kansas. So, and hopefully with Texas, hopefully those two guards, Courtney Ramey and Andrew Jones, were able to get over that little rift that they had on Saturday, because that's essentially what spiraled that team, down really quickly and ended up losing them that game to West Virginia. So, Kansas, Texas, going to be a great Super Tuesday. Looking forward to that one for sure.
It's crazy to me. You look at Texas' last 5 games, obviously the loss against Baylor, Oklahoma State, and then West Virginia Saturday, their wins. TCU at home by 15, that's expected. TCU is going through the ringer right now. At Kansas State, I mean, the Wildcats had a legitimate shot to win that game. The final score was 80-77. Texas, effectively in their last 5, one could consider them 1-4 if you give Kansas State even a 5-point handicap, which I would. But Texas is not playing very well right now. Kansas seems hot. Is there a way that UT wins that?
For Texas, for them to win it, I think for them, it all comes down to just being connected. Shaka Smart, after they had beaten TCU last week, he said the biggest thing in that game was all 11 players were engaged. Everyone on the bench to the guys out there on the court. So I think, he had mentioned losing themselves in the fight. For Texas, for them to win, I think they have to get back to that mentality. I mean, they have this veteran leadership, this veteran presence. I do think they're capable of doing it. Kansas, they are really hot right now, but I think Texas needs this win more than the Jayhawks do in order to really make a statement here down the stretch.
Then moving to Thursday, there are a couple more games Tuesday, but it's West Virginia at TCU, which should be pretty easy, and then Oklahoma at Kansas State. But Thursday, number 10, West Virginia, number 2, Baylor in the Farrell Center. Right now, before seeing Baylor play tomorrow night, Is that a game you're worried about from a Baylor standpoint?
Definitely a trap game for Baylor. West Virginia, you can call them the comeback kids, because this season, I mean, we just saw on Saturday against Texas, came back down 19 points. They had done that earlier this season against Oklahoma State. This is the 5th time this year that they've come back from 10 points or more, and they've come back and won. This is a team that is resilient. They're tough, and it starts with their forward, Derek Culver. They've established a completely new identity as the season has gone along, too, with their guards. I do think if you're a Baylor fan, this is the game that you're probably worried about. And then, again, on Saturday, you also have Kansas. So aside from the Iowa State game, 2 really, really tough games on the schedule for Baylor, and it all begins with West Virginia. They were able to make the adjustments to slow Texas down on Saturday, and, switching to that zone. Who knows? They might be able to have some effectiveness on the Baylor offense, who hasn't gotten to practice much together as a team, hasn't been able to get many shots up in the gym. So again, first off, going to look forward to what they can do on Tuesday and how they come out, and but definitely could be a trap game for Baylor.
Looking at West Virginia, would you consider them now after the win against Texas? I know they have the Oklahoma loss in double overtime. Before that, they had beaten Kansas and Texas Tech 2 straight. Are they really the dark horse, maybe even your favorite to finish at 2 in the conference the way they're playing?
Right now, I would still give the edge to the Sooners to finish second in the conference. I think they just have more depth right now than West Virginia. But, certainly I think those are the 2 teams that are going to be vying for that number 2 spot at this point, with just a handful of games left. But in the tournament, I think, that definitely could go either way if these two teams were to meet. Head to head, they're about as evenly matched as they come. And we've seen that over the course of the season when they met. So, yeah, I think the edge for me right now is Oklahoma with the depth that they have. But West Virginia, you can easily put them at 2B or, 3.
And then we work our way into Saturday. Morgan, this 5 games slate on Saturday, which is just unheard of at this point in the Big 12. It feels like we haven't had that in so long. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it stays that way. We'll start with Kansas State at West Virginia, going a little bit back to West Virginia. This Kansas State team right now, we've talked about it. They've played a couple teams close, and now the win at TCU by 8. Could they at least play West Virginia close in Morgantown?
With the belief that, Bruce Weber has instilled in his team and the grind that they've displayed in the second half of this conference season, I don't count the Wildcats out of any game. I think, they've been able to play these upper echelon teams really close in the Big 12. We saw them play, Tech really close. They played Texas and Oklahoma State close. They're a young team. They start 3 freshmen, Nigel Pack, Davion Bradford, and Selton Miguel. When you look at what they've done with these freshmen, it's the most freshman minutes in the entire country. So they're a very young team. Of course, they still have a senior in Mike McGurl, who's won a Big 12 championship. They're not far removed from that. He has the experience, and he's been a tremendous leader for this team and continuing to get his teammates involved. I think we really saw that in the second half of the TCU game. But yeah, I wouldn't count the Wildcats out. They're in a rebuilding year, but at this point right now, they're playing as tough and as strong as anyone. So definitely, I think it's going to be a good game.
Outside of that, on Saturday, the slate's really solid outside of that one. And then we'll go to TCU, Iowa State. TCU on the road in Ames. I think Iowa State at home, as well as we've seen them play before in the Coliseum, not only could win this game, but will win this game at TCU. Do you lean that way with the way these two teams are playing right now?
I think I'll agree with you on that one. I think for Iowa State, the Hilton Magic, even though in a year with COVID and fans not really being able to be there and instill and create that magic, it's still a special place and hard place to play. The toughness and tenacity that I think they've displayed against number 7 right now, Oklahoma, just jumped up there in the standings. So, Iowa State, if I had to, decide right now, just by seeing the way these two teams are playing coming off of Saturday's games, I would give the edge to the Cyclones, which would be a much needed win for that program.
Outside of that Saturday, the big games going on. We'll get to Baylor last, but Oklahoma State at Oklahoma. OU number 7 in the country now. They have won 3 straight. They've all been tighter games. That West Virginia win at West Virginia, though, another staple, a feather in their cap. And then Oklahoma State on the other side, they've won 2 straight right now. Who knows where those two teams will be headed into Saturday's game, but this seems like it'll be a battle.
Definitely. Anytime we've got Bedlam, doesn't matter the sport, doesn't matter the record, that all goes out the window. These are teams that, are fighting for that bragging rights in their state. For Oklahoma State, I think Coach Boynton has that right mentality he's instilled in his players. We talked about it last week. At that point, there was a 7-game series and take it, let's just go 1-0. And that's the mentality that this team has. They're not looking too far out in front of them. And when they have, Cade Cunningham, who likely is going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, he's able to put the team on his back, and he has no weakness in his game and really can step up at any given moment. And to me, what impresses me most is his passing ability. For Oklahoma, on the other hand, though, it's, Austin Reeves has just been tremendous, but the Sooners have also shown they can do it without Reeves. Think about it. They beat Alabama without their leading scorer, Reeves. So the Sooners, their depth, it's clear, it's there. Elijah Harkless, I think about the game that he had on Saturday against Iowa State. He shot just 25%. So they were really able to shut him down. But again, other players on this team were able to step up and get the job done. So I think the Sooners, they have the depth. Right now, if I'm looking at it, I would definitely give the edge to Lon Kruger's team.
And then some in-state action. Number 18, Texas Tech at home in Lubbock against 14, Texas. UT now, again, losers of 3 of their last 5 since the COVID break. Texas Tech has now dropped 2 straight to teams in the top half of the Big 12, hot teams at the top half of the Big 12. What do you make of this matchup? It's going to be a statement win for whoever brings it home.
Definitely. For Texas, both of these teams needing the win, equally as bad for the sake of where things are going to stack up in terms of the conference standings. Because if you think about it, number 7, they're playing on the first night of the Big 12 Conference Championship. So I think right now a lot of these teams are trying to position themselves to get that bye and, not trying to fall in that 7th spot. And for Texas Tech, they're in that position. So they really need that win. And again, it's teams are finding a way to shut down Mac McClung. And when that's happening, Terrence Shannon over the past 3 games just has not been able to step up and keep up because of that ankle injury that I mentioned earlier. So, for them, I don't know. To be honest, I think Texas has the ability, and they showed it, to look like a Final Four team the last time that they were out. So if they can get back to that and put together a full 40 minutes of basketball, I mean, they have the potential to make a really deep run. Texas definitely, I think, is a better team than Texas Tech. But for them, it's just putting together a full 40 minutes of basketball, which they've really struggled to do as of late.
And then what I consider the game of the week this week. Number 2, Baylor at number 17, Kansas. The Jayhawks play so well at home. They've played 7 more games than the Bears. And at that point, Baylor will have played just 2 games in the span of 3 weeks. If Baylor, let me ask you this to preface that game. If Baylor is playing their best basketball, like they were a couple of weeks ago, against Kansas on Saturday, even though Kansas is playing their best basketball, do you still have the Bears taking that one on the road?
Absolutely. I mean, Baylor, if they're playing the way that they were on February 2nd against Texas and what they did prior to that, prior to the COVID pause, there's no chance that they're getting beat against, here in the regular season against Kansas or in the Big 12 tournament. So if they're able to really knock the rust off here in these first 2 games coming out of the gate against Iowa State and West Virginia, as successful as Kansas is in that field, in Allen Fieldhouse, and, as great of a coach as Bill Self is, I'm sure he's going to have a solid game plan, but I just don't see, if Baylor's back to themselves, I don't see them losing. I think that's going to be a really good test for both teams to really see, though, where they are, matched up. I think Kansas is playing some of their best defense of the entire season. A lot of that, again, going back to David McCormick. Another thing that I think has been really impressive, though, with Kansas, too, is Jalen Wilson. He's just 1 rebound shy of 6 straight games with double-doubles. So, I think Kansas is finally establishing some depth, but I don't think they have quite the depth in order to be able to keep up with Baylor. I don't think any team in this conference could potentially match up to what Baylor was doing earlier in this season.
Hypothetically, Morgan, Baylor loses to West Virginia and then they lose to Kansas at Kansas. Where does that put this Bear squad?
Gosh, it's interesting because of the way the regular season champion is going to be crowned, I think is going to be really interesting, because I think, you got to look at Kansas as a team who they've played, all of their games up to this point, haven't had to reschedule any, or don't have any to reschedule at this point. So, for Baylor, I don't think you can look at it and say, this year was, it was still a tremendous success and a historic season that will never be forgotten, in spite of everything that this team has had to fight through, all the adversity that they've had to go through. I think even if they're able to play let's say hypothetically, they lose to West Virginia, lose to Kansas, and play those, really tight, close battles, and then they come out and win the Big 12 tournament. I think you're putting those 2 losses in the rearview mirror. You're not even thinking about it, and you're going into the NCAA tournament with your head held high and still have a chance to win a national championship and are very deserving of still winning a national championship. So I wouldn't, hopefully Scott Drew and his team, if they were to drop one or two of those, are able to kind of put their blindfolds on, or, their rearview mirror, look at that in the rearview mirror and just keep trudging forward.
And then on the women's side, Morgan, before we let you get out of here, Baylor picking up a win against Oklahoma by 11 on Sunday. Oklahoma's a hot team, too. We'll hear from Kim Mulkey here in a little bit. Mulkey said that Oklahoma may be the hottest team in the conference, and then Baylor won it. It seems like this women's basketball team, number 7 in the country, now 17-2 overall. They're clicking at all cylinders. Do you see this team at a ceiling, a Final Four ceiling?
I do. And you got to think about, too, the circumstances that they were coming out of, facing a very talented Oklahoma team. They're playing, in the Sooners. Maddie Williams leads the entire conference in scoring and Big 12 play. And for Baylor, they weren't able to really practice as a team due to the crazy weather conditions that we had in the state of Texas until Thursday. And then they get on, a plane or a bus and go up to Norman. So, they didn't have much time to really game plan together as a team. I know Coach Mulkey was dealing with power issues of her own, as many were in Waco there. So, this is a team that if they can just stay the course, which is what they did in that Oklahoma game, even though the Sooners were shooting, lights out in the first half, they came out, the Bears did, and just put on another phenomenal defensive performance. And that's what this team is built on, defense. And the saying goes, defense wins championships. And Kim Mulkey has her team, fighting. They're resilient. Nalissa Smith is as consistent of a player as it comes in the entire country. And now to add to that, Dejanay Carrington is coming out and playing some of her best basketball. So they really do have the potential. I think they've continued to really grow and progress as this season has gone on. And speaking of putting things in their rearview mirror, that's exactly what they did with that loss to Iowa State just a few weeks ago. I think they've been able to forget about that and move forward and play some of their best basketball.
Well, Morgan, and also, before we let you get out of here, I got to ask you, you're remiss if I didn't, Bear Games questions of the day.
My favorite time.
Today, if you could fight one large animal, and large is subjective, what animal would it be? This is a fight to the death. You're fighting for your own life here.
If I could fight one large animal, so, I'd want to pick something that would be something that's not intimidating, right?
Right.
Or so I could pick anything I want.
Anything. Any large, you could say like a big tortoise. That's a thing.
Let's go with like a kangaroo or something. I feel like they're sweet. As far as I know, I haven't really heard of any rampant and mean kangaroos, and I've always wanted to see one in person. So I guess a giant kangaroo, I think I could take that on.
A giant kangaroo. Wow, now we're really throwing the game for a loop. Kangaroo has been something that we've discussed already. I picked kangaroo.
Okay.
But then we had a guest that came on and was like, We've talked kangaroo with a lot of different people. It's been a hot topic.
So usually I'm able to tune in earlier in the show, and this time I wasn't. So I didn't even hear any of the great answers. So that was really just the thing that came to mind first.
Apparently there was a guy parachuted down to somewhere far off and was attacked by a kangaroo. So we had one guest that said he wasn't picking kangaroo specifically because of that, but I'm sticking with it, and I will retweet you on the kangaroo pick.
We could take them on.
It's a kangaroo. Come on. They're cute and fuzzy. Outside of that, cowboy and a longhorn in today's Big 12 mascot madness.
I think I got to go with the longhorn. Those horns I think could be pretty potent. Yeah. Why has everyone else been picking cowboy? Am I going the other way with this one?
The cowboy is armed, Morgan. That said,
well, I don't know. I think those longhorns are pretty big. I think it depends how many, what he has loaded there in that gun.
This is a good point. I think it's going to take a little bit to take out a longhorn. You could probably. Yeah, I like that. You know what? I like the upset pick on the longhorn there. You got to have a little bit of parity here and there. The Wildcat and the Sooner for the other matchup today.
Ooh. I think with the Sooner, again, it's like what kind of gun, how old are these guns that they're using? I think the Wildcat would kind of be my initial instinct answer. I think, Wildcats should be able to take down a Sooner.
Wildcat it is. Morgan Uber, Big 12 digital correspondent. Thanks again for joining us today, breaking down basketball across the conference. Should be another big week.
Yeah, thanks so much, Drake. Enjoy the week. Baylor basketball's back.
Coming back with it. Again, that was Morgan Uber, Big 12 digital correspondent. Baylor men's basketball playing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday this week against Iowa State, West Virginia, and then Kansas at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. All right, folks, I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. We're going to hit a break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from the old ball coach, Kim Mulkey, after their win on Sunday, 77-66 in Norman, Oklahoma. This is Up Tempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and company 77-66, thanks to Melissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road 92-87. Number 7 Virginia fell at Duke 66-65. Number 13 West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12 Texas 84-82. And number 23 Kansas won at home against number 15 Texas Tech 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend with wins against Washington State 4-3 and Washington also 4-3. While the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged a loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. That is Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo. So there has been some controversy on the show today about kangaroos. And there's a video that has surfaced on the Twittersphere, the internet, if you will, the interwebs. Also, Baylor baseball's tied 1-1 now in the second inning with UT Rio Grande Valley. I think it's the second inning. It's second or third. And the kangaroo, it's an aggressive animal. Take a look at this. Man's just parachuting in. Just going to land its little parachute here on the landing pad. Oh, here I am on the landing pad. Oh, it's all nice and safe. In the Australia. Oh, what is that?
Back off. Go away.
Oi, mate. Yeah, that's right. Kangaroo don't play no games. Kangaroo Jack right there. Live in action. I feel like that wasn't as aggressive as it could have been, though, you know? I feel like that video almost gives me more confidence that I could take. Yeah, just kind of pawed at him. He's like, oi, you darn kangaroos. You get out of here, yeah? I'm just trying to shoot my parachute down and line on my landing pad. Kangaroos. Wallaby. Down under. You crazy.
Sounded more Scottish than
kangaroos.
Australian.
Oi. Take that as you will. All right. Yesterday, Baylor women's basketball knocked off Oklahoma, one of the hotter teams in the Big 12. They really are. In Norman, they were tied at 42 at halftime before the Bears went on an absolute tear in the second half, a defensive tear as well. They looked, I don't know if you got to see the game, but they looked really, really good in the second half, impressively good. Melissa Smith had 16 points, Dejanay Carrington off the bench with 19 points. Smith added 5 rebounds and an assist as well. Moon Urson had 17. And another win for the Lady Bears, who improved to 17-2 overall, number 7 in the country, 77-66. This from Kim Mulkey and Dejanay Carrington post-game last night.
Kim, I guess just talk about the defense and the way that you guys played in the second half, or what was there any changes made at halftime?
No, I just think, Jerry, you followed the program for years. We're going to guard you, and we're going to rebound the basketball. We just beat what I consider the hottest team in the Big 12 right now. I think we're pretty hot. And when I say hot, I mean they're playing good. They've had a change in their lineup. They're hard to defend. I think they came out on fire. And you just stay the course with what you're doing defensively, because fatigue at some point when kids are playing that many minutes is going to set in, and they're going to start missing those shots. You don't have to change anything. You just pat them on the rear and say, nice shot, and you keep playing. And to go on the road right now and play OU, this is a compliment to my basketball team, because I just thought that we played pretty darn good.
Kim, the first half was interesting in that there was such dramatic runs by both teams. What was the biggest contributing factor to that, do you think?
2 teams that are playing their best basketball of the year right now, and getting it in the hands of people who can score the ball. With them, you obviously know Robertson and Maddie and Gregory. Those 3 are their main offensive players, and they're just playing very good. I think we're playing very good. I hate that Queen got in foul trouble, because she's playing her best basketball. And Alyssa, I just think all of our kids are in a comfort zone and playing with some some confidence right now. I thought Sarah Andrews, you have to mention Sarah Andrews. Without Sarah Andrews in the first half coming in and giving us a spark when we lost the 10-point lead and they took about an 8 to 10-point lead, and she got us right back to a tied ball game before the half. That's good basketball, and it's good for our team.
Dejanay, you and Moon both filled it up as well in the first half. Can you sort of describe your offensive flow, in the first and second quarters?
I mean, personally, they were really out on the perimeter. They were trapping ball screens. They were trying to get the ball out of our hands on the perimeter. So that really opened up the driving lanes. And that's what I tried to take advantage of. And I mean, we've seen time and time again, Moon is pretty much automatic from that mid-range 15-foot area. So anytime we can get her a shot there, or she can create herself a shot at that spot, I would bet on it going in. And I think that we just, obviously, Liz and Queen were in a little bit of foul trouble, so we knew we had to step up and help produce on offense.
And Kim, with Moon hitting, a lot of shots in the first quarter, a lot of what, I would consider big baskets, to keep you guys from falling further behind, how important was that?
Well, it's always important, whether it's Moon or Dejanay or any of them. I thought Dee hit some mid-range jumpers in the crux of the game. We turned the ball over. They would trap us with on-ball screens, and we didn't handle that very well. If there's one thing today we didn't do well, and that was turnovers, and it was created from the traps. We didn't handle that well. And we'll get better. We haven't seen it much. They would bring tremendous help side, and we didn't get enough post touches because of the traps. We kind of panicked a little bit when trapped on the wing, and we got to do better than that today. But any bucket on the road, confidence-wise, for the whole team when people make buckets, and I thought a lot of people hit some big buckets today.
Excellent, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Cliff Brunn with the Associated Press. Coach, wanted to ask you about Dee's defense against Taylor Robertson. She does not have that kind of trouble getting shots off normally. Very quick release. If you could just put in perspective what she was able to do today defensively.
Well, she's been doing that her whole career at Baylor. So we know and respect how good Taylor Robertson is. And I think Dee, bless her heart, she's the one that gets assigned to the best players on the perimeter every time we play, and has throughout her career. She has great length. So as quick as you want to get a shot off, she's 6'6" on the perimeter. She was getting over screens. She didn't want to switch much when the post Maddie was setting the screens. She did some. I think our post players were instrumental in helping Dee know when the screen was coming, and they were up in case Dee got hung up on a screen to bide some time for Dee to get over that screen. So what you saw from Dee today is nothing we see it every day. We see it in practice every day, and it's just a testament to a kid who stays on the floor. She may have a turnover. She may miss a shot. She may do something bad, but you keep her on the floor because you've seen through experience she's going to get it back on the defensive end for you.
Coach, when you guys went in, so going into the half, you guys, out of the 10 points that was scored, Dejanay scored 7 of those 10 points. Can you just talk about what her presence did today, overall, and of course, heading into the half?
Well, what she brings in a presence is you got to guard her on the perimeter. But a lot of her stuff today was she recognized, I can just drive. They don't have much depth. They've got injuries and kids that have opted out. So they're not going to foul you much. They're going to take charges, which we had a boatload of those today. That's just their style of play. But she took opportunities to take the ball and dribble, penetrate, and get buckets in the paint.
And a quick follow-up, Dejanay, it was obviously, you had a leading scorer on the team. Just what did you see out of Oklahoma's defense?
I think really what got us going towards the end of that first quarter, beginning of the second quarter was running in transition. We were able to get rebounds and score quickly in transition, and that's always an energy boost. And for me personally, that really helps me get going. Seeing a ball go through the basket, easy layups, transitions, stuff like that. But from their defense, just what Coach was saying, they were definitely out on the perimeter really, really hard. And so the driving lanes were open, and we know that they don't really want to foul. And I mean, go into them, make them try to make them foul us. But if they don't, I just know that I had to finish.
And just one more quick one, Dejanay. We were told about the fire alarm going off at 5:30 this morning. What was that like, waking up to that? Take us through that.
I mean, I was just like, this cannot be real. I was literally laying in my bed like, this is not real. It was probably like 5, 6 a.m. And then it happened again, probably 15 minutes later, and then again, like an hour later. So it was a long morning from that standpoint, but we've dealt with worse. We've dealt with the weather at this point. We've dealt with COVID, so they could throw anything at us. We're ready for it.
Yeah, Dejanay, on that same note, first it's COVID you're dealing with all year, then you have this past week of weather and power outages. Do you feel, with your experience, that the team is better off having gone through all this adversity before March rolls around?
I mean, I don't know if that's what caused us to be better, but I think we're better now than we were a month ago or even 2 months ago. So I don't know what exactly to attribute it to. I think we're getting more comfortable playing with each other. We're trusting each other more, and all those things are completely out of our control, really. So we just know that we can only control what we can't control, and just stick together through it all. I think we mentioned that we had to miss a couple of days of practice this week, but everyone came back with a ton of energy and a ton of fire and excited to be back together. I think it just makes you really enjoy every moment that you have on the court because you don't know what's going to happen.
And Coach, what can you say about the way your team just continuously rolls with the punches and just keeps taking whatever's thrown at them?
Well, I think the reason we're playing the way we are right now is we've not had any interruptions when one player's gone for a week or 10 days. When we missed the 3 days this week of practice, we were all away. So it's just being together and being on the floor. This isn't going to stop tomorrow. Last time I checked, we all got to go to San Antonio and get COVID tested and stay in a bubble and do all that. So don't think by any stretch anything's fixing to be normal. We may not have snow and ice, but I feel like this is not going to be normal until we all take these masks off and until we're all not tested anymore, until we all don't have to worry about sniffles and cold and COVID and flu and everything else. So what you do is you adjust and you figure out how to deal with it. And don't make excuses. There are no excuses. You have to know what's fixing to happen. You're going to have teams that head to the NCAA tournament that are going to have COVID hit their team. And God, I pray every night it's not us, but I have no control over that. And that's what makes it so unusual. That's what makes it so enjoyable when you do have everybody together, because you just really don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah, that was Kim Mulkey and Dejanay Carrington yesterday after the ball game, the win over Oklahoma. I'm out of breath. Armstrong and I played Pop-A-Shot for a second right there, and I beat him. It was good. Hey, adieu, Armstrong. I'm proud of you for your performance. But, man, trick shots only. All right, that was, again, Kim Mulkey, Dejanay Carrington yesterday. Oklahoma falling to Baylor 77-66. And here's what we got. We're going to hit a break real quick, and then when we come back, we've got celebrity birthdays and this day in sports history. We can do Armstrong's Minute. We got time. We'll be right back after this. This is Up Tempo.
Even with winter weather leaving the weekend slate incomplete, it was a packed 3 days of Baylor athletics. Starting in women's basketball, the number 7 Lady Bears were tied with Oklahoma at the break, but notched a win against Sherry Cole and company 77-66, thanks to Nalissa Smith's 16 points. Elsewhere on the women's side, number 3 Louisville falls 68-59 against unranked Florida State. Number 8 UCLA loses at home to Oregon State 71-64, and number 15 Ohio State fell at number 11 Michigan 75-66. On the men's side, number 3 Michigan barely snuck past number 4 Ohio State on the road 92-87. Number 7, Virginia fell at Duke 66-65. Number 13, West Virginia overcame a 19-point deficit to win at number 12, Texas 84-82. And number 23, Kansas won at home against number 15, Texas Tech 67-61. In tennis, the number 15 Baylor women went 2-0 in the Northwest this weekend with wins against Washington State 4-3 and Washington also 4-3, while the men defeated Trinity 7-0 and 7-0 in a doubleheader. Speaking of doubleheaders, the baseball team split with UT Rio Grande Valley in its opening series Sunday. Baylor won Game 1 12-7, but then surrendered an 8-run lead to fall 9-8 in Game 2. In softball, the 18th-ranked Lady Bears fell in their season opener against 25th-ranked Arkansas 7-2, but avenged the loss to beat McNeese State 3-2 in extra innings later Sunday. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college athletics. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Arturo Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don's Humidor in the Townwood Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back at Up Tempo. Happy Monday, everybody. Man, Armstrong, I'm telling you what, today is the happiest that I've been in a long time. Call me a monkey's uncle or a silly goose or whatever else of those terms you want to call me, but today's a flippin' good day, folks. I know it's Monday, but the snow's drying. Feels good outside. There's all the weather is nice. It's good. It's just a good day. I am having a very good day. Gosh, where's J.D.? All right, celebrity birthdays today. This guy. Oh, baby. I'm a big fan of this guy, let me tell you that. And if you don't know who he is, I'm going to be pretty upset, Armstrong. So I hope you've done your...
I may not know.
If you don't, I'll eat my left calf. I'll eat my left calf raw.
I would like to see that.
Right here in studio.
I'll take that bet.
On the show. You'll take it right now.
If I don't know who this is,
if you
you'll
lose,
eat your left calf.
Will you eat your left calf if you don't know who this is?
No.
Really?
That wasn't the deal.
Okay,
the deal was,
what do you give me
if I don't know it, you eat your left calf. If I do, nothing happens.
Nothing happens, period?
Yep.
All right. So I'm trying to calculate his birthday, and it's going to be, I got it now.
All right.
George Washington. It's George Washington's birthday today.
The George Washington?
Dead or alive George Washington?
He is definitely dead.
He's alive in spirit.
But I'm going to say his birthday, he is...
I know.
It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
285.
Oh, 289. Oh, 4 days off. If only George Washington
that's not bad.
would have been born in 1736, and you would have had it. I would
have had it.
Arguably more important in the United States of America's history, this man, it is his birthday today. Steve Irwin. The crocodile hunter.
I'm going to say he would have been 72.
Wow. You thought Steve Irwin was that old? He was a young guy.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think when he died. He was probably, maybe he was in his 40s when he died, so maybe that would make him like 60.
He would have been 59.
Okay.
Yep. So 60 was a much better guess. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
Robert Kardashian. Old Rob.
100.
77.
Okay.
77. It's Drew Barrymore's birthday today. You know Drew Barrymore?
I do. I'm going to say she is 50.
46.
46. That makes sense because she was a little girl in E.T., which came out in 82. I should have.
How about Robert Wadlow? You know Robert Wadlow or Wadlow? You know who that is? The gentle giant, the tallest man who ever lived. 8 foot 11 inches from Illinois. Robert Wadlow. How old would he have been today?
He would have been 70.
103. Would have been a big day. Would have been a big day for Robert Wadlow had he been alive still. How about this guy? James Blunt.
James Blunt.
Beautiful.
Okay.
You're beautiful. It's
how
true.
old is this guy? A modern artist?
I can't tell you. James Blunt. Yeah, you're beautiful.
33.
47. You know what I'm talking about, James Blunt?
I vaguely.
You're beautiful. Okay. Rajon Rondo's birthday.
That's not helping me.
Rajon Rondo's birthday is today.
Oh, how old is he?
That is what I'm asking you.
Thank you. 36.
35.
He's old.
Julius Erving, Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Birthday today.
Basketball. 80.
71. Dr. J's younger.
Younger.
Khalil Mack, football player Khalil Mack, NFL.
Okay.
30. 30. You have no idea who Khalil Mack is, do you?
Not a clue.
Nope, nothing.
Not a clue.
In this year, organized baseball played in San Francisco for the first time between the Eagles and the Red Rovers.
Organized baseball played for the first time.
Eagles and Red Rovers.
1887.
1860.
1860.
I know. It's been around.
Old sport.
It's been around. Father of American golf, John Reed, first demonstrated golf on a Yonkers cow pasture.
Yonkers cow pasture.
Yeah, what year?
1800.
1888. American golf. Younger than baseball.
Younger than baseball, really?
How about the first Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn?
It was in Birmingham, and it was...
It was in Birmingham. Why?
The Iron Bowl used to be played in Birmingham.
Oh.
Because a neutral site, and that's why it's called the Iron Bowl, because Birmingham is Steel City, right?
Nope.
Okay, anywho. I have no idea. I'm going to guess 30.
1893.
Really?
Yep. Oh, this is a big one. Miracle on Ice. The U.S. hockey team
1984.
1980, Lake Placid, in the biggest upset in the history of the world. Who is that one guy for the U.S.?
That one guy?
Yep.
What do you mean that one guy?
Just say it.
The guy I have a jersey of?
Uh-huh. No, the other guy. The one that we love.
You like a Ruzioni?
Michael Ruzioni. I play for the United States of America. Gosh, again. And last but not least, Robert Kraft, owner of Kraft Mac and Cheese, Robert Kraft. Owner of the NFL team New England Patriots, charged with soliciting prostitution in Jupiter, Florida.
I'm going to go 90.
2019.
2019.
Yeah, we just kind of swept that under the rug.
Gosh. I totally missed that.
Yeah, it is tough. What is wrong with society today? All right, I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. When we come back tomorrow, Matthew Postins, Grayson Grunday for joining us. We're breaking down Baylor men's basketball. Tomorrow's game day, folks. Tomorrow's Baylor men's basketball game day. We're going to do another show tomorrow. Fired up on some Monday right here. Thanks for joining us on Up Tempo today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs. Knowing you, that's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.